We're the moms who ask the questions, digging deep, no second guessing. From the school run to the crime scene, truth and chaos, we're the dream team. Bad Kids Club, yeah, we ride or die. Side eyes sharp and our standards high, brought together by FKR. Now we're taking truth real far, and we're just getting started. Talk time with Amy, Boston, and Kelly, spilling facts that hit your belly. Partners in crime, fueled by conviction. Moms on a mission with sharp intuition. Talk time, we're calling out lies with caffeine, chaos, and side-eyed vibes. It's raw, it's real, it's how we vent. Leaning close, let the reckoning commence. This is Talk Time with Amy, Boston, and Kelly, where the tea is hot and the truth cuts.
Hey kids! Happy Saturday! It's the Bad Kids Club. We have Sarah Dawn. Hi, Mama. It's good to see you. We have my Scotty in the house. Hey, baby. That's right. Happy Saturday. I'm a one-man band tonight. And I'm starting early because why the fuck not? Thanks for popping in to say hi, Scott. Appreciate you. Kelly is not feeling well tonight, so she is going to sit this one out. How is everybody? How is everybody doing? I see Danny is also here. Good to see you, baby. Today's been a crazy day. I've been literally drowning in laundry and being a mom. That we're lucky I'm here. We are lucky I even made it. Oh, hi, Mike. It's good to see you, baby. It's good to see you. Are you guys seeing? Listen, I watched the Guerra earlier. I've been really not watching much YouTube lately, but I watched Guerra earlier, and he was talking about the meatball email. How are these people not in prison yet? How are they not in prison? You're just trying to pay people off. Just trying to pay people to do the needful. Wait, it's 90. Where are you? In Newfoundland? 33 degrees. Honey, you gotta Americanize that for me. 91. Yeah, it's hot here too, bitch. It's hot here too. It's so hot. Yeah, the emails are crazy. And I don't know who it was, but they were saying that it's not that they couldn't have found anyone in the DA's office to prosecute this trial. They didn't trust anyone scummy enough to really do what they needed to do. The Celebrate stuff alone with the fucking with Judson and what the fuck, you guys know who I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Celebrate people. What? As an IT professional, I found it to be absolutely fucking horrifying. Absolutely horrifying with what they did. And the Celebrate software is intended to be able to be manipulated, and there's different types of. I've gone through this ad nauseum during the trial while Aperture was up on the screen. One moment. Hold on. Sorry about that. Can everybody hear me? Just to make sure. They can't tell. So I went through this ad nauseum when they were up there testifying that even though you can manipulate the data, doesn't mean you should, right? And between the two trials, they updated the software in order for Jen McCabe's Google search to not appear, right? But if you were to take her phone today or the day after Judson and whoever, can you guys hear me? Am I having a problem? The blind leading the blind today. It would have been there. And there's so much evidence now that that these emails are coming out that I'm starting to get like re-interested in the case because it's hard to listen to the same shit all the time, right? It's hard. In any case, we're not here to talk about Karen Reed. I am actually going to discuss the new documents that were dropped in the Brian Kohberger case. My friend Brian Enton, I'm going to put his link in the chat to this, to what we're about to watch. It's all of the new reports and everything that came out, and Brian goes over them, and it's really, really scary. See, I've been following the Idaho 4 case since it happened. Like, I remember the weekend it happened and being horrified, right? And then like following Brian and the father coming to get him, and then the gag order was in place. And then what? Then there was no information, you know? And so Brian Enton has a stream that we are going to go over, and we'll find out some more stuff because I was really looking forward to this trial. I was looking forward to knowing all, I want all the tea. I want to know all the things. I want to know all the things. So at least little by slow, Brian Enton is going to be going over this stuff, and he is going to be going over a lot of the police reports that we did not hear about. And I know that we all watched here on Talk Time with Bad Kids. We watched the sentencing together and saw what a cold piece of shit Brian Kohberger is, right? Also on Brian Enton's his own channel, his own YouTube channel, it goes over what Brian Kohberger's life is going to look like. Apparently, even though he is not on death row, he is going to spend the rest of his life. He's a young dude, like he's in his 20s, all right? He's going to spend the rest of his life in what is like death row in Idaho. He's just not ever gonna go to the 50 squad. All right, guys. I am going to start this, and we'll find out some more information about
watching the victims from their backyard. I have long heard that Kaylee Gonzalez was concerned about having a stalker. In fact, the first time I went to her parents' house shortly after the murders and interviewed them, that was one of the first things they brought up, that she was worried about a stalker. Well, there are new police reports that I'm going to go through in this episode that detail why her friends were also concerned. Also, in these new reports, there was a call. They almost cleaned out the house at 1122 King Road, law enforcement, before it was officially cleared. I'm going over all the new reports that have come out since the gag order ended in this edition of Brian Enton Investigates. Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my podcast. Really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting in a bed. I'm actually in a hotel room. This is where I am a lot of the time during the week, traveling around doing my stories. And oftentimes I will lay out court documents to sort of go through them on the bed just because I can spread them out. I used to do the same thing when I was in college with my homework. And I was going through all of the Brian Kohberger documents that have been released since the gag order was over with. And I had them laid out on the bed, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for the podcast, and realized like I might as well just do the podcast in the bed too, since I already have everything laid out and whatever. Hopefully you guys won't judge me and you'll kind of get it. So in this episode, I'm going to go through all of the new documents that have been released, not only from Moscow PD, but also some new documents out of Pullman, Washington, and things that I noticed that other people haven't really been picking up on. I think I've got an interesting perspective because I spent so much time in Idaho from the beginning. So a lot of this stuff is bringing back memories to things that I saw while I was there, and it's sort of helping to piece all of this together. I want to start with a ton of police reports that I found that have to do with whether or not Kaylee Gonzalez had a stalker, and whether or not Brian Kohberger was actually lurking around the house at 1122 King Road before murders. Now, keep evidence that Kohberger was stalking the victims or that really knew the victims before. But since early on when I started covering the story, there had been reports from family and friends of Kaylee's that she was nervous about being stalked and that she thought that she may have been being stalked. And
So I'm gonna stop it right there. Everyone kept saying that Maddie was the target and Kaylee was not. I have always believed that Kaylee was the target of Brian Kohberger. And since the beginning, there was always been reports that he was stalking them. And this he gets into a little bit more of the stalking and what was actually heard and seen by the kids.
Even I was thinking back after reading these reports, the first time that I went to the Gonzalez's house in Coeur d'Alene, they live in Coeur d'Alene, so it's a bit of a drive outside Moscow. And the first time I went there, which was well before Brian Kohberger was arrested, this was pretty soon after the murders, I remember her parents and her sister telling me that they thought that Kaylee had told them that she was worried about a stalker that early on. So it was interesting reading these reports. I'm going to read them to you now. These are from friends of Kaylee's. This is from one of the roommates, and also this is from Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack. I'm going to start though. This is from one of the roommates here. And this is, again, these are police reports that and interviews that police were doing in the immediate days and weeks after this is November 13th, 2022. This is when the names are blacked out, so I can't be positive, but sort of piecing the information together. This is interviewing one of the surviving roommates. And I'm just going to say blank because a lot of these are blank and still blacked out. But it says, blank talked about an incident with Kaylee, who stated about a month ago that she saw an unknown male up above their house to the south who was staring at her when she took Murphy out to go potty. Blank stated Kaylee broke up with her longtime boyfriend about 3 months ago because she was planning on moving to Texas. Blank could not provide me with anything else at this time, but stated about a month ago she saw an unknown male up above their house to the south who was staring at her when she took Murphy out to go potty. Now, let me describe the house for you again. In front of the house, there's obviously there's apartments, like sort of lower duplex type things. If you're looking at the front of the house to the left, there's a bigger apartment building and a parking lot behind that. But directly behind the house, and keep this in mind as I continue to read you these reports, behind the house, there's nothing but a wooded area. There's a backyard and a wooded area. And up behind that wooded area is a neighborhood. And I explore that area a lot because I was there every day, just trying to piece together what happened. And there's a little trail that goes through the wooded area, but it's not a trail that's used very much. And the wooded area again goes up to the houses behind the neighborhood that's up behind. Where the house is at 1122 King Road and the surrounding apartments and duplexes, it's mostly students. I would almost say all students that live right there. But up in that neighborhood behind, the sense that I got, it's a little bit more of an upscale neighborhood. It just had a bit more of an adult feel to it. So I don't get the sense that there were a lot of students walking up behind the house through the woods up to that bigger neighborhood behind. There was really no reason to walk.
I mean, okay, so we all know that this house was very oddly shaped, right? Like it looked like it had been like owned by multiple people and had like an addition here, an addition here. It's kids living in the basement. There's first floor, second floor. It's very strange. And up back there, I mean, even looking at it the way of all the views that we've seen, there's no reason to be up back there if you don't know these kids. They, it is said that they had chronically like people coming in and out and in and out and in and out, and they didn't lock their doors and stuff. It's almost like victim shaming. Like I don't know how many people in Idaho are really feel that unsafe, right? They probably never. I never felt the need to feel unsafe, but being back there and seeing figures and all of that must have been so scary. And now it makes sense why it was said in early beginning that they would call each other, like the girls in the house, and be like, "Q, come home. I feel like someone's like looking at me." Fuck, it's horrifying.
Through those woods. So keep that in mind as you're going to hear people saying that Kaylee saw someone in that wooded area behind. This is from another friend. Blank stated several people, to include Gonzalez and Blank, were on the back during the party. Gonzalez's dog Murphy was also present. Blank stated Murphy ran up into the bushes behind the house on several occasions and would not return when called. Blank stated they called Murphy numerous times before he would come back. Blank told me the group eventually went inside and shut the door. This was the only occurrence Blank was present for, but told me Blank remembered more similar occasions. I called Blank, referencing these occasions. Blank also related the occasion on her birthday and added it was unlike Murphy to not immediately return home when called, which is the reason she and Gonzalez were concerned about someone being behind the house when Murphy would behave in this manner. Blank told me about another occasion on October 29th, 2022, during which she was at 1122 King Road for a Halloween party. Blank told me Mogan, Gonzalez, Kernodle, and Chapin were all present at the party. During the party, Blank stated the group gathered on the back patio once again, and Murphy began to run into the wood line behind the house and not come back. Blank told me they heard noises too. She described these noises as similar to what it would sound like if someone was moving through the woods on foot. This occasion took place midday, and they did not see anyone behind the house. However, Murphy's behavior and the noises caused them to go inside and close the door. The last occasion Blank remembered took place approximately 2 weeks prior to the homicides. Blank stated Murphy displayed similar behavior of running into the woods and not coming back when called. Blank also recalled an occurrence.
All right, so I've been a dog owner in my lifetime. I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. Do you think that type of behavior from a dog is odd? There are some animals that could give two fucks if their owner calls them back for whatever reason. It could be, hey, Samana girl, what's going on, baby? 02136. Yeah, of course I'm being good. I'm always good, or I'm good at it. But there's dogs that like go out in the back and stuff. And they'll get out of your house and you have to like hunt them down. They won't come back, blah, blah, blah. But if it's out of character for this dog, for the dog to act differently leading up to the murders, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Tell me in the chat.
During this time frame, exact date unknown, wherein she and Gonzalez returned to 1122 King Road and found the rear sliding door standing open and Murphy was missing. Blank stated they had to go out and look for Murphy after they found the door open. So what I've been told is that Murphy would not want to run away from Kaylee or from the house. That wasn't his personality. And that's one of the reasons this stood out to so many of the friends, is why was Murphy going up into the woods and not coming back, especially when they heard someone up there. This is now from another
huge waste of time
friend. Okay. Blank then, this is a different friend. Blank then told me where she had heard from others that Kaylee had seen some random guy behind the house when she took Murphy out to go pee. Blank also followed her out of the store, and she thought he tried to get into her car. Blank was not sure for sure who had heard this. The grammar is weird. Who had heard this from, but either Blank or Blank could not tell me more. So this is again saying that saw a random guy out behind the house. This report is from Jack. So this is Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jack. Police describe.
Okay, and I'm going to stop this and also say that this poor boy Jack was tormented by the internet because the internet couldn't stop fucking interneting, and they attacked this poor boy. Okay, they were together and they mutually separated because Kaylee got accepted a job in Texas from Idaho, and they were still super cool. Like, and the internet interneted, and this poor boy was tortured. All of them were. So was like Dylan and all these kids were tortured then to have had these boys be the ones that found the kids too, to compile on top of like all of the bullshit that they've had to deal with from the internet is fucking wild to me. Stop interneting. Stop interneting.
Describe him as the ex-boyfriend. They seemed like they were kind of in between boyfriend and ex-boyfriend, but they actually interviewed Jack about some of these things. I'm going to read you this full police report. This is when they interviewed Jack, and he also talks about the possibility of a stalker. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 14:37 hours, I interviewed blank, which I know to be Jack, at the Moscow Police Department, reference the quadruple homicide which occurred at 1122 King Road. Blank consented to have his phone forensically searched and provided me with his cell phone at the beginning of the interview. I asked Blank to tell me about his day on November 12th, 2022. Blank stated he worked blank and worked from 1400 hours to 2210 hours on November.
Yeah. You know what, too, Scott? You were absolutely right, because we know more than anybody, being like an online person, that you're always under a fucking microscope, right? But like, if you sign up for this is what happens. But when you are just a little kid from Idaho who got sucked up into a quadruple murder because all your friends were killed, and then there is absolutely no consequences for people who get up on the internet, or viewers, because y'all, listen, it's not just the influencers, it's the viewers. Stop interneting. Do not go real life, okay? Stop it. Stop talking. Like, it's one thing to discuss the cases, to learn about the law. People's minds fascinate me, okay? People, especially people like Brian Kohberger, for some reason, I want to know what makes them tick, right? I love learning about this stuff, but under no circumstances would I ever go real life. I don't want to. Hold on. Wait. I collared men and women for internet stalking. Really? Oh, Scotty, I need to talk to you about that, because it happens every single day. Every day that shit happens, and like, people don't realize that like things like that can make people hurt themselves. It can do a number psychologically on people, and just because you get a set of facts that you want to believe, and a narrative that you want to believe, come to find out we are years into this, and he has admitted to the murders, and these little boys and girls got fucking tortured, psychologically tortured by the internet, because the interneted. It's awful. Yeah, it's a process thing. Okay, all right, interesting.
November 12th, 2022. Blank stated he left his work and dropped off some food for a friend working at the Corner Club. Blank stated he went home. He also lived on King Road, then returned to the Corner Club around 2300 hours, a different place on King Road. Blank stated he saw Gonzalez at the Corner Club and spoke to her briefly. Blank stated he left the Corner Club, but was unsure if Gonzalez left before or after him. Blank stated he went to bed when he got home. When Blank awoke, he told me he saw commotion down the street at 1122 King Road, visible from his residence. So it goes on to talk about sort of, we know what happened next. He found out what was going on down there and was hearing from other roommates. But this is the part that I thought was interesting in relation to whether or not someone was stalking the house. I asked Blank if he noticed or heard anything suspicious anytime recently. Blank stated he saw a dark gold minivan backing up King Road approximately 1 or 2 months prior. Blank stated he did not remember any other suspicious circumstances. Blank did add Gonzalez would call him on occasion when she was walking down home alone, or when she was feeling sketched out. That's how she described it, sketched out. Blank stated there were people coming in and out of 1122 King Road frequently.
But like, wait, so how many times have you guys, okay, us as women, right? We get sketched out. Like, I was somewhere yesterday, and I got this guy like sketched me the fuck out for some reason, like over like anyone else. It was just like he gave me that cringy feeling that gave you the heebie-jeebies, right? But how many times do women or men, right? Because there's single white female ladies too. people, your feeling gets discounted as like, oh no, they're just being dramatic, or no, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. How many times I've said that to my friends, like to my girls, I'm like, no, like it's fine, like you're fine. But look at these not one of them, but at least a few of these girls voiced concerns that they thought that someone was watching them, stalking them, looking in their home, the dog thing. All of those things are weird, and they all end up dead. So can we normalize like making people feel seen and stop discounting gut feelings as women and men as like not the truth? Because look ahead, look what happened.
And more people knew the code to their house than they probably should have. Blank stated he was not sure if the residents regularly locked the rear building glass door. Blank also told me he and Gonzalez owned a dog, golden doodle named Murphy, with Gonzalez. He also told me Gonzalez was taking the dog out sometime in the past when Gonzalez saw a shadowy figure behind the house. So this time it's described as a shadowy figure behind the house. Now, again, remember, behind the house is that wooded area. Next to the house would be the bigger apartment building. In front of the house would be the duplexes. But behind the house is just that wooded area. So she said she saw a shadowy figure behind the house. Blank stated nothing else came out of the incident. I asked Blank about his relationship with Gonzalez. He told me that they had dated for approximately 5 years and broke up several months prior due to a loss of spark coupled with Gonzalez leaving for a job in Texas. Blank stated there wasn't conflict and the breakup was mutual. I asked Blank if there was anyone who flirted with Gonzalez. Blank stated there was a male by the name of Blank who often flirted with Gonzalez. Blank did not know any past stalking incidents, nor did he know who would have committed the murders. I asked Blank about his conversation with Gonzalez at the corner club. He said the conversation was short but normal. Blank did not have any further information for me during this interview, so I concluded my interview with Blank. And again, he said that Gonzalez owned a dog, a golden doodle named Murphy, and that when Gonzalez was taking the dog out sometime in the past, Gonzalez saw a shadowy figure behind the house.
How scary is it that this man literally stalked these girls like prey? And in coming up, I don't know if it's in this or if it's in other things that I've seen. Kaylee was extremely mutilated, right? And so there was a lot of passion behind her unaliving, even though there was obviously they're all equally as bad. There was a lot of hate behind her unaliving. So it's really scary. And then you're seeing shadowy figures. How many times I've gone outside to like run to my Jeep to like go grab something and felt like you're being watched. But this is what I'm saying. Like don't, because in this just goes to show that like if something feels wrong, if something feels off in your gut, it normally is.
Now, what's interesting about Jack, and I don't think I've shared this story before, is you guys remember when right after the murders, before Brian Kohberger was arrested, when everyone thought police knew nothing, and there was just this frantic atmosphere in Moscow, especially. A lot of the college kids had gone home. People didn't feel safe in town. People were nervous, and people were pointing fingers at people associated with the victims, whether it be friends or people that they went to school with. There was this whole list of people on social media who, like sleuths, were claiming were involved. And one of those people was Jack. Obviously, maybe because he was the ex-boyfriend. Now, Jack obviously did nothing wrong. Good guy, just terrible that he had to go through that time with everybody in the comments saying things. But this is the part that I haven't shared. So when I went to the Gonzalez's house, one of the first times after the murders, but before the arrest of Brian Kohberger, I was going there to talk to them about some things, do another interview. And when I got there, Jack was actually at the house. And it was always very sad going to the house. It still is. But then especially, not only sad, but there was a nervous energy because the killer hadn't been caught. So when you would go in the front door, there was always a lot of family and friends around. They were all supporting the Gonzalez's. And I remember back where the kitchen was, I saw Jack, and I actually said to Kaylee's sister, "Oh, Jack is here." And I was sort of thinking like, wow, he's here. And there's all this stuff going on social media. And they loved Jack. I mean, Jack was like a part of the family. And from very early on, they were not suspicious of Jack. And I just always thought that was interesting. You had the internet world going crazy, but the family loved Jack. And he was even in their house throughout all of that. So that was kind of an interesting time. But back to these reports, we may never know if Kaylee Gonzalez had a stalker, or if Brian Kohberger was stalking the house. Was he possibly stalking one of the other roommates? We'll probably never know. I mean, the prosecution has said they don't have enough evidence to say that. They made clear they don't even know if Brian Kohberger had a connection to the roommates. They've never seen any evidence. So we may never know. But it is just interesting looking.
With that being said, though, I always thought that there was a connection with Brian Kohberger and Maddie and Kaylee because they worked at the vegan restaurant right outside of Pullman, Washington, where he was at school in Moscow. There was a vegan restaurant that they worked at, and that's where he got the idea. Oh, we have Footy here. Oh, Kelly is not on tonight. It's just me. If you prefer Kelly, I'm sorry. You'll have to catch her on a day where she's just here by herself. I don't know. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. So I guess apparently there was no connection, but that from jump, I always thought that was how he found them.
Through these reports, the coincidences, or are they coincidences, that so many people in Kaylee's life after the murders came forward and said, wait a minute, she did tell me this time, or she did tell me that time. And you know how it is, like you remember certain things that stand out to you. The fact that she was saying she saw a shadowy figure in the wooded area behind the house. Again, we may never know the significance of it, but I found those points to be really, really interesting in the reports. Okay, moving on to something else that I thought was interesting.
Wait, with this being said, I never thought that it was Maddie. I always thought it was Kaylee. But then Maddie was the one that supposedly worked at the vegan restaurant, or they both did it one time or something. So that's I don't know. Maybe it was just a rumor, but it just so happens that he is vegan. Not sure if he's still getting his vegan meals on death row, and she worked there. I mean, that's a weird coincidence. You know what I mean?
House at 1122 King Road. You remember they tore the house down. Basically, the owner of the rental house gifted it to the university, and the university ended up tearing the house down, even when they thought there was going to be a trial, which caused a lot of people to be angry, including some of the victims' families, because oftentimes in a trial like this, especially with the house that was as weird as that one with the 3 levels and part of it being set into the earth, you might want to do a jury walkthrough. That happens. For example, I covered the awful Parkland shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the school shooting in Florida. What happened is after the school shooting, and this was right on the campus of the high school, they closed off that building for years and kept it exactly the way it was after the shooting. I mean, there was blood all over the floors. They didn't change a thing. The books were still open. Everything was the same. They fenced it in. They put banners on the outside of the fencing, and the kids went back to school and had to look at that building every day. But they kept it there because they wanted it to be there for a jury walkthrough. And again, they did have a jury walkthrough there. They brought the jurors out there to see it. They eventually tore it down after Nicholas Cruz was convicted, the shooter, but they knew it was important. And same thing with the Murdaugh case. I was out there when they toured Moselle, his estate. They knew that the jury might want to see it, and they brought the jurors out there in vans. So people thought the same thing in Idaho, which is why they were so shocked when they decided to tear the house down. What I'm getting at is, and I've said this before, I think the prosecution in many ways did a great job and cared about the case, but I also think there was this feeling that they wanted to move on in Moscow. It's a college town. They're not used to the attention. They're not used to the fear. Again, a lot of the kids left campus after it happened. I think they didn't want that house to stay standing anymore. And it's a reminder.
But why that's not like a thing. How is that a thing? I get it. I totally understand wanting to move on from something like this. I totally get it. But like the trial hadn't even like begun before they were like, get rid of it. They made that like 3D model of the house. That was never going to cut it. That was never going to cut it during trial. Had he not taken this plea deal, the jury would never have been able to go to the house and viscerally feel what it was like to be in that house. What those kids went through, where they actually lived, it's not standing any longer. So because you wanted to forget about it and not want to think about it anymore, those kids were killed in that house. Four kids. And I would have been pissed too. The Gonzalez family was heated, and I would have been heated too, like so bad. I get the Chapin family. It kind of just wanted everything to, and you can deal with it however you want to deal with it. However you're as a family, as parents, I could never imagine being in their position. I never want to have to imagine what it feels like to be in their position. But the fact that they tore that house down before the e-trial was even on its way was fucking bizarre to me. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we have a cop from New York in chat right now, and I'm sure he's never seen anything like it either. Like, leave it up. Leave it until this man's convicted. He took a plea deal, but that it wasn't always the case. Remember, in the beginning, he said he was going to be vindicated, and he was going to be seen as not guilty
of what happened. And I think they were premature in tearing it down. That's just my opinion. What I'm getting at is there were some other close calls and issues with the house where I think they moved too quickly because they wanted to move on. And this, I'm going to give you some examples, and these are in the police reports. These are things that I didn't know that are now coming to light in these police reports. This has to do with, well, let me just read it to you, and then I'll explain. On December 30th, 2022, 45 businesses responded to 1122 King Road to bring, again, the grammar's bad, to being cleaning the residents of biohazards and other chemicals used during the crime scene processing. This was a pre-arranged response. As members of disaster response were setting up their tents and barriers, I received a call from Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. Mr. Thompson advised me that a judge's order had just been issued requesting all mitigation and cleanup be halted immediately. At that point, I instructed the disaster services crew members to stop. I confirmed that the door of the residence had not been opened and no one had altered the residence yet. Excuse me, it's really late. So what I found interesting here is you had a disaster services response company coming to do a biohazard clean. This was on December 30th, 2022. They were about to go in the house and clean the house when it just so happens the prosecutor called and said that there was a judge's order to halt it. They were so close to cleaning the house and possibly cleaning up evidence that they didn't want to clean up that early. And they almost did it. The cleaning service almost went in. If it hadn't been for Bill Thompson calling at the last moment, they would have gone inside, which I just thought was an interesting close call that I didn't know about.
But like, why are people, why were they trying to rush that? Like that's what made me side-eye and think that it was like prosecutorial misconduct where like did something happen that they just like needed it to go away? Like why are you having people go in to clean before the investigation's even wrapped up? What was happening? I want to know what was going through their minds. Hi Donovan, good to see you, baby. Hi Nikki, it's always good to see you, mama. It's a lot.
Until now. Another interesting thing that I noticed here, on January 5th, 2023, I learned from, this is the police officer writing this, I learned from Bill Thompson, per the recent signed court order to hold all evidence, blank items fell under that order. Thompson stated his office would contact blank and make arrangements to have blank items returned to MPD. So filling in the gaps here, what it seems like happened in this instance, which wasn't long after the cleaning crew showed up, is they gave away, they gave back some of the items in the house, probably to the victims' families, and didn't realize that it was too soon. And then had to go back and get those items back and bring them back into evidence, which could.
Okay, wait. And like, in all fairness, too, I'm sure that Moscow has never dealt with something like this before, ever. And so even though they're law enforcement and they've been in law enforcement for a long time, their type of law enforcement of enforcing is going to be totally different than like New York City or the city of Boston, kind of like the Canton versus like a homicide in downtown Boston, like two different things, right? You don't see it every day. And you should know, like, not to give back items like 2 days after the murders and things like that, and like not send a biohazard team in, or, you know, put in papers to like fucking knock down the house, like, weird. But to give them some grace, right? They probably had never seen this a day in their life. They probably didn't know this shit even existed in the world. I mean, I don't know that for sure. I wasn't there, but you know, we'll give them some grace with that.
Could have been an issue, chain of custody, etc. Again, doesn't matter now. Brian Kohberger admitted to the crimes. There's been a plea deal. Had there been a trial, something like this would have come up. And again, I just think it all goes back to what I was saying. I always felt like there was a rush to clean up the house, get things back to normal. They eventually tear down the house. And I think some of these reports sort of play into that, which I just thought was interesting. Last thing I'm going to get to here that I noticed in these new police reports that I don't think a lot of other people have picked up on is they talk a lot about when detectives went to and from the house. I was out there pretty much every day. And again, this is before Kohberger was arrested, and they would show up in the middle of the night sometimes, or late at night, to go in to get something, to do some kind of testing. They would never tell us what they were doing, but you know, I would be out there late into the night just keeping an eye on things, and you would see these detectives come and going, and oftentimes I got it on video. A lot of those instances are now documented in these police reports, which is interesting for me. Maybe it's just me kind of, since I was out there, to go back and sort of cross-reference with the dates that I got video of the detectives going in and out. But there's something else referenced in here, and that is the day that the U-Haul showed up. And let me just explain this. So we were told that this was going to happen. There was finally a day when they were going to return the personal items of the victims to their family members. And this U-Haul, driven by Police Chief James Fry, he was actually driving the U-Haul, which was interesting because I never saw the police chief out there. I don't think besides that time, it was mostly just the detectives. The police chief showed up, back to the U-Haul Inn, and they began to take out the possessions of the victims. And like when you cover a story like this, most days, obviously it's emotional. I mean, there are times I was at the victim's house, family's houses, and there were emotional days, but a lot of days you just zero in on what you're doing. Because you're trying to get the job done and you're trying to keep up with the new information. And I'm calling the police, I'm calling the FBI, I'm going to the different locations. I'm going by the house to make sure I'm not missing anything new. I'm calling the police again. And you're sort of distracting yourself away from the sort of emotion of it when you're doing the job like that. But there are always moments where you can't help but the emotion will break in. And sometimes it's unexpected. And for me, I think back to this moment as one of those times. I was standing outside the house. The police chief showed up in the U-Haul. He was driving the U-Haul. He backed in, and then the officers just quietly began to remove the personal items that belonged to the victims.
I agree.
And when I say personal items, I mean, it was Ethan Chapin's golf clubs. It was the makeup of the girl that the girls had. It was their bedding. It was their, pink pillows. It was their posters. It was pictures.
That's a lot.
It was things that we all had in college that I thought about. I mean, it was like the plastic drawers and shelving and that you had when you were in college that you saw them pulling out. And it was just this really emotional moment where it became so clear that these were just these innocent kids, and everybody felt it. No one said a word. The police chief wasn't talking.
this is the thing. Like, yes, these were young kids, and those are normal stuff for the kids to have. But it was a crime scene. It was a fucking 4-murder crime scene, and they're just like golf clubs. Like, what if the golf clubs were used in the crime, right? Like, he could have taken a golf club, hurt one of them, wiped it off, and threw it back in the thing. And now you're gonna give away golf clubs? Like, what was going through their minds? Giving stuff like that back before the trial? Like, God.
The officers weren't talking as they carried the items out. The reporters and photographers weren't talking. We were all dead silent. And I think everybody just appreciated the gravity of the moment. When at one point the chief did kind of walk over to where we were standing, and I have the video on my phone still. This is what he said.
We're just trying to get stuff back to the family so that they can have some closure.
Okay. What did you guys kind of take out? Was it specific things the family wanted?
Some of the family wanted and just other belongings over there.
And I missed the first statement you made, sir. What was that?
We just went in to gather belongings so the family can have some of that stuff.
Yesterday you talked about, I can't imagine how difficult it is for you. Last time you guys were here, it was a horrendous crime scene. To have to go back into the house, what was that like?
We have a job to do. And I said yesterday that we're going to do our job. We're going to do it to the best of our ability. And we owe this to the family. We owe this to the victims. We owe this to our community. So we're going to continue on. But we'd like to get going now so that we can...
Chief, just real quick, are there any updates today with the investigation that you can share?
At this point in time, I don't know that because I haven't been there, but I'll be there later and maybe I can answer that question.
So it was an emotional moment, as you can imagine. But again, I bring that up because a lot of this is now documented in these police reports I'm going through. This is a report from one of the officers that he rented the U-Haul truck, and after loading the items into the truck, drove the U-Haul to the secure storage garage at the Moscow City shop. All listed above individuals unpacked the truck. Those were all the officers into the secured storage garage where they were kept prior to releasing them to family members. And the family members had actually told me that they
rented a U-Haul truck, packed up a U-Haul truck, mixed all of the things together, and then held it in a locked storage facility for the families to come get the stuff. That just seems like very rookie behavior for what the amount of damage was. Do you think he knew she was leaving? Who do you mean? Do you think that Brian knew that Kaylee was going to be there, or that she was leaving? Like, is that what you mean? It just seems like rookie behavior. Like, not only are you contaminating all of the fucking what could be evidence, then you're renting a fucking U-Haul. You're not even like using like government law enforcement vehicles like paddy wagons. I don't know what they call it in fucking Utah, but here it's called a paddy wagon. Throw everything in there and bring it to it is inexperienced. And like, thank God at the end of the day, thank God Brian's complete. Thank God that he left that sheep. Because can you imagine the field day that they would have had with this investigation? Right. Kaylee was not living there anymore and she was home for the weekend. My personal opinion has always been that it was Kaylee that was the target and she wasn't living there anymore. And it just so happened to happen on a night where she came back to see Maddie. He had been stalking the house. So my opinion, it's fucking my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I think that maybe, or he knew that she did leave and she came back for the weekend to see her friend. Maybe.
They went to that area, the secure area, to go pick up the items, which you can just imagine what that was like, picking up all the personal items. And then there was a time when they had to go pick up the cars. Steve Gonzalez told me about when he went and picked up Kaylee Gonzalez's Land Rover, which is still in their driveway, by the way, the last time I was there. So that was an emotional day. This is also interesting from that same batch of reports. Ann Taylor actually requested that certain items be set aside and not returned. item, which is kind of interesting, wondering why these items, again, doesn't matter anymore now that it's over. But it was a handwritten note, pink and white blanket with red hearts, pink and white cloth, possibly used as a curtain or decoration, black and white Van shoes, red and white shoes, black and white Converse shoes, all sorts of other stuff from the bedroom. Not sure why Ann Taylor was specifically interested in holding on to those items, but kind of interesting that they wanted those kept behind. Again, I don't know why, but all of these things are documented in all of these new police reports. And every time I go through them, there's something else that I noticed that I didn't before. I want to go through something else though. So we also got new reports from Pullman, Washington, which of course is where Brian Kohberger lived. He lived in off-campus housing, graduate housing, right near Washington State University, which is like 20 minutes from Moscow. But these reports were just released by Pullman, Washington. And the reason that these are interesting is because these reports are specifically about when Brian Kohberger was brought from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested outside his parents' house. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the reports. From Pennsylvania, where he was arrested at his parents' house, he was brought back to Pullman, Washington.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that because the father went from Pennsylvania to Washington to go get him, right? Like randomly. Do you think that the parents knew that Brian did it? Like, even if they didn't know, do you think they knew? And I find it odd that Brian's own mother wrote about the fact that Ted Bundy shouldn't have been executed, and Brian was obsessed with Ted Bundy. People kept saying it was that Elliot Rogers guy that he was obsessed with. By all accounts, it was just Ted Bundy on his phone that he was obsessed with watching. So I think that's interesting. I think he had to have known. How you don't just go from Pennsylvania to Washington on a whim after, like, you know if your kid, your kid, strengths and weaknesses.
Here we go. So let me kind of refresh your memory here. So he was arrested. He was interviewed, which we now know about, at the Pennsylvania State Police Barracks in Pennsylvania. He had his first appearance, which I raced to Pennsylvania when I got word he was arrested, got a tip. I was there for his first appearance in Pennsylvania. And then we knew that he was going to be flown back to Idaho. I at first assumed it was going to be like an FBI jet that they brought in to fly him back quickly. It was actually the opposite. It was the Pennsylvania State Police plane, a single engine plane that went very slowly, and it left Pennsylvania. I think it actually had to stop 2 times to refuel, and it took a long time to get back to Idaho. Actually landed in Washington. So I then flew from Pennsylvania back to Idaho, was trying to figure out where this plane was going to land. We all assumed it was going to be Pullman, Washington Airport, which is sort of the main airport for Pullman and Moscow. And so we were tracking it. It looked like it was going to Pullman. And then at the last second, it sort of turned, and we thought maybe it was going to Lewiston Airport. So I was there with my photographer and producer. We were waiting at Pullman Airport, and I was like, oh my God, I think it's actually going to Lewiston. I think it was Lewiston. I think that's where we thought. Anyway, so my producer started racing in that direction, but then it made another last minute turn and came back to Pullman, landed in Pullman. We ended up seeing Brian Kohberger get off the plane, and this is where I'll pick up. This is interesting. This is what we now know from these police reports in Pullman that sort of document everything that happened. They actually called this Operation Turtle Shell, the operation to return Brian Kohberger to Idaho, because he was wearing a ballistic shield and also a helmet. Because they were concerned that someone might actually try to shoot him. And so because it was a helmet and a shield, I guess that's why they called it Operation Turtle Shell. And this is what it says. The Pennsylvania State Police will be transporting a high priority inmate, Brian Kohberger, via aircraft to the Moscow Pullman Regional Airport on January 3rd, 2023 at approximately 15:30 hours. Kohberger is currently in PSP custody per a warrant issued out of Latah County courts for the November 13th murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Due to his heightened awareness, the potential for unforeseen threats related to the transport of Mr. Kohberger, and the potential for information compromise due to media overwatch, Mr. Kohberger's transport has been deemed high risk. So because they deemed it high risk, that's why they had this whole plan. That's why he had the helmet. I wondered about the helmet and the shield and the vest that he was wearing. The Latah County Sheriff's Office is tasked with the safe transfer and transportation of Mr. Kohberger. And then it goes on to talk about all the plans they had in place. The team will position the vehicles near the aircrafts so that prisoner compartment doors are facing the aircraft exit, if possible, to provide cover and concealment. I remember when the plane pulled in, we were worried we weren't going to be able to get a picture of Kohberger because they really had it surrounded by cars and there was a hangar. Luckily, I mean, you guys know me, I was like running around up and down the fence. It was such a cold night. We ended up getting the shot of him in the helmet. But they said he was secured in a ballistic vest and helmet, placed into the prisoner compartment of the designated transport, and with the carrier helmet, belly chains, leg restraints for the key. So they had him all restrained, and then they go.
I remember this day when they got him walking through the parking lot from the airplane, and I remember thinking when I saw him for the first time, like, really? I didn't know like, you never really know what to expect or what to think about these people, but like, I was shocked that was him, and rightfully so. Of like, it's very red states over there when it got guns. They don't know what's gonna happen, if people are gonna start shooting at them or whatever's gonna happen. So I had never seen a person be arrested for potential murder like that with a helmet on. I had never seen that, not one time in my decades on Earth, not once.
Through all the protocol, they had a whole like plan if anything went wrong, if anyone shot at the cars. They had tourniquet and first aid people ready, and they even like had hospitals on standby, it looks like. So there was quite a plan. I remember I followed back to the Latah County Jail. There was a whole just like line of police cars that I followed, and then he finally went back to the Latah County Jail, where he was for quite some time until they moved the trial to Boise, to Ada County. He was then moved to the Ada County Jail, and now he is at the Idaho State Maximum Security Prison. He's in custody of the state of Idaho for the rest of his life, which gets me to my next thing that's new. You guys remember I toured the Idaho Max Security Prison where Kohberger is. Before the sentencing, I was granted a tour, about a 3-hour tour, very detailed. I have a whole YouTube video on that you can go back and watch. But I did not get to see the J block, which is where the death row inmates are. And it turns out that is where Kohberger is. I just got an update today from the prison. They say he's in the.
This is what's interesting, right? This is an interesting fact that even though he's not on death row, he will be housed with the death row inmates, which I don't know if that's a common thing in states that still use the death penalty. But I thought that was interesting that he is got life in prison. He has 4 life sentences, but he will be housed with the death penalty inmates. I thought that was interesting. What do you guys think?
J block. J block is a unit that can house up to 128 individuals and includes populations in general population, protective custody, long-term restrictive housing, and death row. Incarcerated individuals in long-term restrictive housing live in single prison cells, are moved in restraints, and are provided showers every other day, along with 1 hour of outdoor recreation daily. They have access to religious services, communication through JPay, and can place commissary orders. So these pictures are pictures that I took inside the jail. And even though that wasn't J block, it's very similar to where Brian Kohberger is. Basically, these prisoners are kept in individual cells. They only get to come out 1 hour a day. So they get all their meals in their cells. There's like little door slit ways that they can put the food through. So they stay in there 23 hours a day, and then 1 hour a day they get to leave to go to a recreation area, which sounds a lot nicer than it is. It's not like what you see in the movies where there's basketball courts and a whole like running track or anything. It's actually like an indoor area where they're just the top is open to the outside, and they even have like fencing up there, but you can see the sun, and it's just a small area where they can go outside. And even in that area, there's like cages, I would call them, in that area where some prisoners don't even get to be totally free in that area. They're in like these little cages just so they can see the sunlight, but they can barely move around. So that's their 1 hour of outdoor time. when they're in their cell, which is where they are all the rest of the time, they do have a tablet where they can do emails and listen to music, and they can have a TV. They buy a TV, but they never get to come out besides that 1 hour a day. There's really no social interaction.
Listen, if you are a fucking monster like Brian Kohberger, like someone mentioned Chad Daybell, in my opinion, listen, I know you're supposed to be able to give these people like some dignity, but why they don't deserve TV? Why do they have an iPad? Why are they emailing people? Well, the inmate. Hold on, Baker. Hi, Baker. Kelly is, if you messaged me, Kelly is not on tonight. If you want to message me on X. Hold on.
There was this common area with like little, almost phone booth looking, I call them cages again, where I'm told sometimes they would put inmates in there and have a couple in one room in different cages so that they could like have some but I don't really see that happening with Kohberger right now. I think if he's in that death row area, he'll have to stay in the cell 23 hours a day. Again, he can use the tablet, which I know upset some people the last time I reported it. But just having been there, I mean, it's not a place that you would want to be. And that's where he will likely spend the rest of his life, probably in that J block. It's possible he can move to a different area. The warden, has said that, people who go to these prisons aren't so much judged on the crime that they committed. They, in a sense, start fresh within the prison system. Like if you have good behavior, you can get privileges in the prison possibly. So my guess is they're going to keep him in segregation for a long time, maybe forever. So he's in the J block. And that's really the latest. As we continue to get more police reports, which we know that more will be released over time, there's going to be a ton that still comes from the court. The judge has said he wants to go through them all before he releases them and make sure the appeal window closes. So all that is still yet to happen. We're going to get a lot more reports. I'll continue to keep you guys updated. But that's pretty much it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'm really, trying hard with this podcast. So appreciate you guys.
All right. So that was the Kohberger. Baker, you are more than welcome to hop up. I just put a link in the chat if you guys want to come up, and anyone else, we can talk about the Morrissey emails. You can pop my cherry on this because I barely know anything about it. I'd love to talk if you want to come up. Otherwise, is that bug up? It's good to see you. Who else we got? Yeah, Baker. Oh, we got my Heather girl. Hey, Heather. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is they don't want him in general population because this is the thing. Even though he was dangerous that night, he attacked girls in their sleep, and he attacked Ethan Chapin in his sleep. And to me, he seems like a bitch. Like there's guys in there way more thorough than Brian Kohberger will ever be. Oh, and we have a celebrity to pop on here.
Hello.
Hi.
Your audio is really bad.
Is it? Can you
Yeah.
hear me better now?
Yeah. You have to
that
do the
better?
same as Valhalla. You have to figure out that you can't do this because the audio will really not pick you up.
I'm not a professional. We are not professionals over here, Baker.
Funny enough, Zach just came in. He is a professional streetwalker, but still, he's pro at it.
I love it. I love it. What's going on? It's late where you are, no?
Yeah, but I was asked if I wanted to do a stop by, so I said it's gonna be 1 a.m. But hey, and then she doesn't show up.
Right, and then she doesn't even show up. She's not feeling well today, so we gave her some grace to not pop up here. But I think this is a perfect timing to have you on, Baker. What's going on with these emails from Morrissey?
Well, I haven't gotten to read. I've seen the drips on the tweet, but again, Boston haven't released them, so we don't know what's in all of them. What I have seen is a very confusing story of a super insecure DA who seems really worried that he's going to be taken down by a blogger. I love that he first of all he puts Turtle Boy. It's not Turtle Boy. It's Turtle Boy, and then he calls him a blogger. They seem so. I've never seen press done this bad, and I've been in contact with the press for 20 years because I was in politics, and I've never seen someone being so bad at it. And the way he writes his underlings, hey, can you check this story? We need to get on to this one. Get me Judge Welcher. He can probably sell us. Oh, I did a video today on Trooper Paul's report. Remember, he didn't do a report in the first trial.
That's right.
I read the entire report. It's exactly the same as Judge Welcher's. And Judge Welcher said, well, I didn't use it. I didn't see it. It's exactly the only difference is it's Trooper Bukaki who is standing weirdly and hitting the tail light, and he hasn't blued himself.
Right.
Other than that, it's exactly the same, except there's some times in there where you're thinking that doesn't make sense because he was ordered to do a crash reconstruction at 14:30, which is 2:30 on the 29th. At that time, they hadn't even seen the SUV yet, and they were already ordering him to do a reconstruction.
Right. They basically gave him Paul's report and said regurgitate this, and that's where they came up with the paint. Then they came up with everything. They were trying to make it just in case that report had to come in and the defense wanted to throw it in there, that they would look somewhat similar. It's crazy. It's wild. The whole thing. And they've opened up the can of worms for that lawyer there. I can never say her last name. The one who was crossing Lally and is going to crossing Proctor about other cases.
Rosemary Scapiccio.
Thank you. That's her. Yes. Yeah.
She. Isn't it wonderful? All of these people who live their life to shit on Aiden because, I had the feeling when I was reading it today because they're talking about how they reach out to the Globe. I think that's Boston Globe.
Yes.
And recommending their stories and say, oh, it was such a great story you did the other day, which is the same we did in politics. We would suck something else on the journalist we knew would plan the story. If I needed to hit someone from my own party and another party, I knew who I called at the newspaper and said, hey, you might want to keep an eye on this. I'm just to help you out. And then I would get a bit of better press. And you do this, you butter the journalist, because as you might know, journalists are really insecure. It's worse than us creators. And they really like people to love them. Well, they don't earn any money anymore. And Emily D. Baker outdraws CNN most days.
I love Emily D. Baker. She's yeah.
But she has a bigger audience than CNN has during the daytime.
Yeah, no, understandably so. Because mainstream media, but this is the thing, mainstream media can be bought, like you were just saying. You can sit there and give them the narrative that you want to be, regardless of what they think. Because I'm a journalist. I can't say my opinion. People, I mean, I'm like my channel's a baby channel, but someone like Emily D. Baker has millions of followers and millions of people that she can influence, and she can say whatever the fuck she wants. And so, the Globe but that's why they hate Aiden, because Aiden goes against the grain, right?
Yeah, and when you see a DA writing the Globe and saying, "Oh, I saw your story Sunday. It was such a great story," that journalist, I would never ever, if I was Aiden, Mike, Karen, Yannetti, one of the people, I would never ever talk to that journalist because I would not trust the product they made. That's the thing. We random talking heads here on the YouTubes, we live or die by if people find us trustworthy or funny or whatever. And if they don't do that, they'll change the channel. They will go to Emily D. Baker. they will go to the Clara somewhere else because they feel, okay, I like it better there. But these journalists, they have a certain editorial line that they know the ones who buy our paper, they like this type of content, and we're just going to write it. And we're not going to rock the boat. We need those people to buy the newspaper again next year. And sadly, all of their audience is dying because no one wants to buy a newspaper anymore. So, Anna Sack says, please don't mention my ex-wife.
What? What's that saying? Please don't mention. Why? Why is this?
Well, that's the reason I'm the broken baker. She broke me.
Oh, stop it. So wait, can you, I don't think I know, like you say you were into politics. Can you tell me us a little bit about that? I didn't know that that's what you were in. I know that what I've heard you say you were a professional juror. What does that mean?
No, people say I'm a professional juror. I am a layman. A layman is an elected position that you run. Well, you put your name in a hat every 4 years, and if you you won't get wadered, but you'll get checked out to see if you have anything, and they will then say, okay, you go into the next round, and you'll wait 4 months, and then all of a sudden you'll get, okay, you are a layman for the next 4 years in either city court or for you it'd probably be like city court or county court. And then you do jury duty. You do 4 to 5 cases a year for those 4 years. And I've been doing that I think I'm coming up on 16 years soon. I think I'm at 14 years now. And
and that's what you still do.
Yeah, it's instead of having where you have people to come in, do voir dire and blah blah blah, you just get I am still a virgin, so sadly that's not but no, you'll have and I'm on the quick call list. So some years I'll have I think the most I've had is 20-25 cases in 1 year, and other years I'll have like 7 or 8.
Wow. And is it like a kind of across the board type of cases, or is it specific type of cases that you get called for? Like what kinds of things do you do? What's your favorite?
Anything that can land you in prison between two weeks and 6 years.
Okay.
And in Denmark, that's the low end of a murder is 8 years. So
okay.
Because we are 2 laymen and 1 judge when I do it. Then you have a step up, and you will have 6 laymen and 3 judges. And that's normally where murders and big drug cases and stuff like that goes. But then the defendant can say, well, I don't care. I just want to go down. So I did a murder case once where it's just at our normal level and did that in a day. That was an easy one.
In 1 day? So,
yeah.
So in your case, you have your judge, and then there's 2 jurors. So you and somebody else who are deciding what is happening with this case.
Yes, and we do everything. We find them guilty and we sentence them as well.
Wow, all in 1 day.
Yes, our murder case, I think our deliberation might have been 15 minutes.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, compared to, you cover our U.S. cases all the time, so it is like night and day comparatively to what you're dealing with the same amount of like grossness, right? How long do you guys stay in court for? All day, 8 hours type of thing, or is it until you're done?
It depends on what. The last case I had was there was a multiple threats against people at a psych ward, and we did that I think we did it in 4 hours. Yeah, they thought it would be a full day court, and we went home just after lunch. But in Denmark, we are way more efficient than Americans. We never ever have a a voir dire of a witness. If you tell me you're a doctor, you're a doctor.
Okay.
And I
So
don't
it's
care
not
if you
counts on
went
it.
to Mumbai Medical School or you went to Copenhagen University. It doesn't matter. If you're working for a hospital in Denmark, you have the qualifications to be a doctor. No, but we are known for being 1 inch
Fucking
longer
efficient.
on average. But
So yeah, no, that's wild to me. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I wish that our judicial system was just as efficient and fast as what you're telling me. I didn't know this existed.
It depends on the case. I have a case pending it started in 2008, and it's a guy who went bankrupt because he lost his accountant. His accountant died, and he thought, okay, I'll keep up with all the billing and stuff like that. And then it went over his head, and then he went bankrupt. And now the tax IRS has tried to get him to pay 1.2 million Danish, which is $200,000 or something like that, for the last 15 years. And we went to court 2 years ago, spent all of the morning getting into all of his financial records, and then in Denmark, the defendant always goes first. If they want to talk, they will be the first one interviewed. And he said, you said this state? Yeah. Well, I had declared bankruptcy, so I couldn't change anything in the IRS. All of that would be with the guy who takes care of the bankruptcy. Oh, well, I have to go back and look at my papers. And we still haven't gotten a new callback to court, and that's 2 years since. I don't know if it's been chucked out and this guy doesn't know what's going to happen. He might get a big bill at some point, or he might never hear from us again.
That's crazy. It's wild. I mean, it's fascinating. What are your favorite type of cases to hear?
New things.
New.
Yeah, because I have done more simple violence, aggravated assaults, and drugs than you can, because that's always what it's. My murder case was interesting because everyone had heard about it in my town. I didn't know the guy. I kind of knew friends of the girl he killed, but that was interesting because that was something different. That was the first time I ever walked through a metal detector at the courthouse. But something we didn't do, because you get bored of someone punching someone in the face on Friday night. Yeah, we've done that to death. Having someone tell you know who I am, right? And you're sitting there thinking, you do know I am the Son of God, and these are just Satanists who try to take my power. This is one of those times where you're lucky you have the Danish face and you just do this.
Just the. Okay, I'm fascinated by this now because I had no idea something like this existed. So what if by case, so this is what you do, there's two people, you go in, there's a judge, what if you do know the person? Do you get automatic?
Then I'll recuse myself.
You would have to, okay.
But you'll have to know them. It's not enough that, let's say I'm going to court. I've actually had a former girlfriend's dad is a lawyer. I informed court and said I used to know his daughter, and it's 10 years ago, but they have a last name you can remember. And they said, well, have you talked to him since? I said, no. Do you talk to her? I said, no. Well, it's okay. And we did it, and we didn't talk until we gave them their verdict. And then on the way out, they said, oh, yeah, how's it going? And it's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a long time. How's your daughter? And but no, we played it. The only time normally I get called in for people who conflicts out because I'm on that fast call list. I've been in court once where I was called in for someone who was conflicted out, and then we got we get the charges and we'll read, okay, these people are the ones who's going to testify. And she said, oh, this witness wasn't on the paper we got at home. I can't be in this case if she's here. She was like, why not? Because she's my best friend. And the guy who is the victim in this case, he beat the shit out of her. So I can't be fair.
Right.
So
automatically.
she was like, nope, I can't do that. That wouldn't be fair. And that's it. It's super interesting. I always tell people they should do it because you're new to true crime because you got into it because of Karen Reed and you got into the mood and all of the big drama. Most court cases are super boring.
Yeah. Well,
It's just
that's one thing. I've been into true crime. But I've always been like a viewer or a mod for the most part. I would always be in people's chats, and I would always be in. I've watched tons of cases, even like the civil trial for the Maya girl. I mean, that was fascinating. But this type, what you're telling me. Can I ask you a question? Is anything televised in Denmark?
we can televise our audio, and this is really annoying because we have some big cases I have tried to cover when I started my channel. We had one called the Mia case with a girl who ended up in 243 pieces, as you do. And I tried to cover that, but it's really hard when you can't use the photos and you can't really make a video of. And that was back when I was new, so I didn't know how to splice stuff and things like that. Quite interesting case how because this guy turned out to be quite a weirdo, lied to girlfriends about his age. So he was dating a 13, 14-year-old girl and claimed he was 17. And then she found his driver's license and said, you can't have a driver's license when you're 17. Back then you had to be 18 to get it in Denmark. And he said, no, I'm actually 19, but I lied to you. And he was 28 at the time. And he was a weird stalker and stuff like that. And he drove into town. We had just had the second lockdowns finished, picked this girl up at 6 a.m, drove her around, ended up in the wood, broke her neck, went home, cut her up in 243 pieces, tried to dissolve some of her, probably was a little bit, it's too much.
243 pieces, Baker?
Yeah, but you have a big problem, you want to have a smaller problem. You'll have a lot of small problems. It's way better than one big problem. This is just rational thinking. Then he drove out into like a wooded area, started digging a hole, but the earth was frozen, so I'll chuck some of it down there. The rest of it, I'll just chuck on the ground. They found him pretty quick. And then they found out that he had installed an aftermarket GPS that officially was to turn off so you couldn't be tracked. But it malfunctioned that day, so the GPS was on, so we could follow him the entire ride around town. And I know that town, that's the party town in Denmark, where they have a street, just nightclubs and bars and stuff like that. And there's a barrack up there where I spent some time as a soldier. And when you know all these places, and his story was just so ridiculous. Well, she wanted to... is the U.S. crimes crazy in Denmark? Well, let me tell this story. He claimed that he was driving around, and you young ladies, you know, nothing is better at 6 a.m. than a random stranger picking you up and driving you around town, talking about how he used to be a sergeant in the military. You really want to give him a mouth hug. And
but their pastime getting in strangers' cars at 6 a.m. What are you talking about, baby?
Yeah, and apparently she wanted to give him a mouth hug, and they drove out to one place, and as they say in Denmark, there's no impotence, only ugly ladies. But he didn't really work. But then they drove to another place where she said, let's bang in a pine forest, because everyone knows under the pine trees is the most romantic place, because you will have to pick out the pine needles of everything.
You'll
for
be
the next
sticky
month.
after. For multiple reasons.
Yeah, but she runs into that forest and sadly slips and gets her string around her neck from her back, and it breaks her neck. So he takes her home, and he's like, should I call the police or should I just cut her in 243 pieces? And the easy answer is cut her in
The
243 pieces. That's
That seems easy.
yeah.
What is happening
Well,
in Denmark?
well, that's that. So yeah, some cases are a little crazy. We also had the guy who was called the Danish Elon Musk, who invited a journalist into his submarine, and it's not a euphemism, but he wanted to bang her, but still, he had a real submarine,
Everyone always
and
wants to
and then apparently at some point, according to him, the hatchet fell down, broke her neck, and again, what do you do when you have a big problem? You make it a smaller problem. And he chucked her in the water, and she has never been found. She was Swedish, so it kind of was okay. But no, he went to prison, and then he actually tried to escape by making a fake gun out of, I think, this good old soap trick. So he escaped prison and was out for 15 minutes or something like that.
Best 15 minutes of his life. It's like, fucking see
That's
what can I ask you? Okay, so now that we're talking about this, like, I want to go back to these cases because these are fascinating, and I think it's a disservice that people can't see what happens with these cases. Like, I to be a fly on the wall, right? Like, you are that fly on the wall. You get to see this stuff. What are Denmark prisons like for someone like him? Ours are like fear treatment, and like I was just discussing Brian Kohberger, and he gets like vegan food in prison, which I highly against. He's shocking to eat every day.
You would be shocked if you saw Danish prisons. I've shown it on my channel. People say we have worse dorm rooms on universities. We have the joke when you get old, rob a bank because it's better to be in prison than in a retirement home. It's you will, if you go to prison, you when you're in jail, yeah, you'll do the shitty old from around year 1900 where you're sleeping on bad beds and in cold cells and that. But when you go to the prison, you'll have your own room, you'll have your own bathroom, you'll have TV with satellites. You'll most likely have a PlayStation or can buy a PlayStation or something in prison. You can, there's a shop there, so you can go buy Coke and not that kind of Coke. But
well, yeah, like commissary.
Yeah, you'll get your commissaries.
They can get that kind of Coke too. Who knows?
Well, they actually can. I've been watching. We have had a lot of documentaries about the criminal insane, and then we had about a female prison. And one thing that really struck me, because we have this joke. I have never sent a guilty person to prison. Everyone is always sorry, and they didn't do it, and it wasn't theirs, and they just wanted to get out of drugs, and they will never ever beat their wife again. And then we'll see them 6 months later. So we're always joking that I've never met a guilty person in court, but all my buddies who are prison wardens, they make them criminals again because I'll see them 6 months later. But watching these women and, oh my God, ratchet hoes. But they were ratchet, but they didn't care. They just didn't care about, and all of them were like, yeah, I need to get out of this. Yeah, I'm going back to Johnny. Oh, he was such a great guy. One of them was talking about, oh, this is YouTube and you haven't been going so long. One of them was talking about how her boyfriend was training her just before she went to prison because doing mouth hugs. She had a tendency.
The female to female mouth hug. You can say where the fuck you want on my channel.
No, it was she was with her boyfriend before she went to prison, and he was training her because her gag reflex was a little too much. And as she said, I really hate it when he holds my ears when he comes.
Did he get the 247 hawk up too?
I don't know if she got the 11Cs after, but
Oh my god.
and you're sitting there watching that program thinking, what? And the girl next to her is like, yeah, I'm knocked up. I'm 8 months pregnant. I shouldn't have carried those drugs across the border. Yahtzee.
I do. I'm watching a lot of documentaries about like women who are in prisons and stuff. A lot of it has to do with these guys they get wrapped up with, and they're the drug mule, or they're a prostitute, or they're doing. Not saying that like, well, women are easily coerced, especially with men. Not saying that they don't make their own decisions, but there is a common theme with a lot of women in prison that they're just like dating really bad people, and then they you are the company you keep, though. I believe that.
I used to do because I have some herniated discs, so I needed to do some yoga to try and get some movement back in my body. And I watched DDP yoga. He's a former wrestler who made a yoga program for men. And he has this saying that your friends are your elevator. You can ride up with them or you can ride down with them. And it's your choice. And sadly, for most of these people, there is no choice. They will go straight back to the same guy who put them in there. One of them,
100%.
the one who got her ears yanked, she went out and, oh, I'm never coming back. She was back the next week. She was on parole, went in and robbed oxys at a pharmacy.
And you like you just said, you go right back. You go right back to it. You know what they say too? Even like bad relationships, it's like you leave this one person, and all you do is find that same person in a different body. It doesn't matter. It's always the same. But my friend Kenny always says, water seeks its own level. So if that's what you're looking for, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I don't know if my mic
Yeah.
is good. But yeah, water seeks its own level, right? And this girl going back, it's unfortunate, but like,
Yeah, and that's the thing, because you're doing that where you're looking at your friend and you know she's not with a good guy, and you're wondering because she's beautiful, she's talented, she's highly intelligent, and she keeps getting into all of these accidents where she slips and fall down the stairs and walk into doors and that, and you're thinking, why the hell can't she break the cycle? But that's because somewhere inside of her brain, this is love. This is what love should be. So even if she gets rid of Johnny, she'll go right over to Brian, and he will also have a slippery stare, because this is how she thinks love is. And
right.
it's so sad. But that's that's how pimps treat the ladies of the night as well. Because, but I love you. Everyone else hate you, but I love you. I have to do this. You made me do this, and they sit there and say, yeah, it was. I had a friend who said, well, when he's not drinking, he's not that bad. I never saw that guy sober. So
Right.
what time did you see him sober?
Absolutely. And but Kelly just popped on. We're gonna pull her up here. I will say to this. Kelly. Hey, honey.
Hi guys. Sorry, I just woke up. I've been sleeping.
It's all good. We were talking about females and how Baker, what he does in Denmark, and how he's a layman and all of that. I'm not sure how much you saw, but Baker, to your point, I truly believe that like men and women go for the same. This is what got me into true crime. Is like people's minds and how they tick. Like that guy that you said hacked up that woman into 278 pieces. Like what is like is it nurture? Is it nature? What made this person this way? And that's what fascinates me about criminals.
That's one of the
Fascinating.
That's one of the things you're always wondering. What's nature? What's nurture? And I think you must be broken. The mold has had a crack when you were made, because we're all different and we can all end up in a bad place. But there's a difference between an accident, you can have a bad relationship, you can get out of that, and then you can move on. That's fine. But you also have these people where you're thinking you're going back right in the same relationship you were in, just with another guy. But that's because they can't see it. And I think that's well, for most people who ends up in drugs or stuff like that, most of that is nurture, because they have seen it in their entire childhood, and you don't meet many people who is so anti-drugs or drink, like kids in a bad house, but they'll end up doing exactly the same because this is what you do. And I think that's a lot of that is nurture. But when you have these tendencies like the Kohberger, and you have that feeling that I want to see if I can do it, I think that's nature.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Some of people are born with it. I'm not gonna stay on. I just wanted to jump on and say hi to Baker. I feel bad that I didn't come on, and he's on there, and I haven't felt good today. So, and can we remove Zach, please? That would be perfect. Zach needs to be put in timeout or just removed completely. Just kidding. He's like telling me go away. I'm like, dude, I was just here to say hi.
No, we don't want you to go away. I'm happy you're here.
I think Zach should go away. He should
Zach,
go out and tell people to come in and watch the show, because now the full crew is here.
Hey, Scott. Yeah, Zach is in trouble. He's on my shit list today. So, but Baker, thanks for coming up. I appreciate it. It's so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I feel better. I would stay on. I've been just shaky and sweaty all day, and Steve just woke me up. So,
I'll feel better.
I just wanted to jump on and say hi. So, but I'm watching in the background.
All right, we love you.
I love you too. And Baker, hopefully one day when I'm on and I can come on the screen and we can hang out.
Yeah, well, I'll talk with Zach about it.
No. Zach has no say in this.
He's a mod on the channel.
He is. I listen. I love. He's actually been up on panel with us before.
Amy did it by accident.
Yeah.
He did it by accident. We're taking it away.
Did he tell that story where he tried out for the Chippendales?
No, but that one we need to know.
Well, I'm just saying it was weird because he had a special trick with a fish, and let's just say it was pantsless, and he was holding his hands like this, but the fish was still there.
I still have questions about his YouTube channel with the rabies. I have a lot of questions, Zach.
I just have questions in general about Zach. Okay, like he needs a mental evaluation.
He needs Jesus and a smack upside the head.
That is great. He does need Jesus for sure. We'll just have a whole like ceremony just for Zach. So, but I know Liam's got the background noise, and I was gonna jump off, but I just want to say hi and say thanks for coming up.
I love you, girlfriend.
Doing it, Amy.
Go get better.
Yeah,
sorry I left you in the work today. I'm not feeling good, so
you gotta take care of yourself. That's
right.
most important.
We have Adelson coming up. I gotta be in my prime.
Oh,
stream that.
Baker, are you gonna cover Adelson?
I maybe.
Just come on ours and then stream it to yours from your ours. Like you got that where you can stream the extra one, and we'll just do it together and hang out.
Yeah, but I don't know all the backstory to that. Everyone is and her son and Charlie and her daughter, and I'm just looking at this.
So Auntie Deb did a show the other day with Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. Her name is Kathy. And she came on and she gave the CBS rumor version, like if you were in the grocery store talking, but she hit all the points. And now he is addicted, put on Adelson. And that's a good episode to watch if you were to want to watch one to learn about it real quick.
She is she's super funny. I had her on for, I think I did like 13 creators for Christmas. I think she was one of them. And she's so funny.
But yeah, she gave her version just like she does on her show, and he was hooked from like, because everyone kept telling him, watch Donna Adelson. And he's like, I don't know who this is. I'm not a true crime person. He's like, I just did Karen Reed. And then she ended up saying, nope. They came on, and she came on yesterday, and they watched the trial or the hearing together too. So
that was a little bit boring.
It was. It's always, the hearings are boring. But I will put a link in the chat, and you can watch. If you want to watch it and find out what it's about, you can. It's not, I mean, it's about an hour and 20 minutes with her, but it's 3 hours with Deb because he like went straight right into the deep dive. So, but Liam is being like a fish, and I don't want you guys to get interrupted. So I have an autistic that is screaming in the background laughing. He's spinning right now.
At least he's happy. So go and get better.
He's happy. This is him at 5 a.m. in the morning. So he's always happy. But
I want
all right, I'll talk to you later. Love you guys.
It's 1:40 a.m. So
is it Baker? You're a maniac. I love that you're here. I love that you jumped on.
I know. I told him. I'm like, I feel bad. It might be way too early for you. So, but I appreciate it. And I love. So
we'll talk one day and figure something out when you feel a little bit better. Go lay down and get some sleep.
I will. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, Amy.
Ciao. Can I ask you a question? What microphone do you have?
This thing, is it terrible? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's.
Can you hear me?
I wonder. Can you change the modes on it?
No, I don't think so. This is like my third. Hold on, it might be on the wrong one.
It's just because it sounds like you're way away from it, and maybe it's because.
Is that better?
Oh, that's way better. Now you're loud as fuck, and everyone can hear you. You just needed to go on the right microphone.
I did, Baker. I'm not professional around here, but you know what? You came in and saved the day.
Well, it's just I was thinking. I've heard you before, and your audio is normally not that shitty, but it sounded like you were sitting in a tin can on the other side of the street from where the microphone was. So I was thinking, let's do it real.
Yeah, I didn't switch it. I mean, here we go. We're back in action.
Now everyone can hear us.
Now everyone can hear us. Yeah, that's what we're saying. So true crime. People fascinate me. People's mind fascinate me, and I always want to know all the tea. I want to know all the things. I want to know why you tick, why you want to hurt people, why, like, even like we were talking about abused women. Why do you go back to the same guy all the time, over and over?
Don't forget men do it as well.
Men. They definitely do. I know. I've known a few to do that. It's not a gender specific thing. It's a human nature thing, right? And yeah. So you have worked with people that you're saying for Baker, are you ready for this? I don't know if you are.
He's scared of me.
Have you guys ever officially met?
I didn't see. Oh yeah, I've streamed with him, and we were just on Discord together. So.
Oh, okay.
I came on to say, Baker, those pictures of the Chippendale trials were very personal, and you said you're going to keep them secret. So
I didn't show the pictures. I asked if they knew the story.
Well,
and I'm impressed that such a small fish could still fit. Hey, it's not the size of the boat; it's the ocean in the motion.
I mean,
what is
I
that,
don't know.
Danish?
As a woman, I have to disagree.
Well, it's another Danisms.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
As a woman, I respectfully disagree. it's more than the ocean. It is. Oh my God. Baker.
I think Baker's blushing.
He is. Listen, this is the Bad Kids Club. I'm being extra on my P's and Q's tonight with Baker, aren't I, Zach?
Oh, unload
I haven't even objectified you yet, Baker.
Well,
You're
I am a virgin, so I don't know anything about sizes or women. So
well, you've come to the right place.
yeah, that's
You-
what Valhalla said. You won't be a virgin when you meet me. I thought, oh, that's nice. He's gonna make me meet a woman.
I love Valhalla. I've like watched his cow cams before for like hours.
Goat cams.
Goat
Goat
cams.
cams.
It's the goat cams. Yeah, the goat cams.
Oh, he hasn't been here to demand a wrench yet.
No, not yet.
That's
The night's still young.
I don't know if you've read the TOS on YouTube, but you must give Valhalla a wrench.
If I
He
see him,
will
he's
cry
wrenchable.
in your chat until you give him a. I was on with I always want to call her Lacey Evans because of the wrestler. That's not her name. I was on with Lacey a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking, and he was in chat, and I did the same spiel. Said, "Hey, you must give Valhalla a wrench." No, he said something, and she pulled it up, and his name is Valhalla, and I think she read it like you do in Spanish. So she was Valhalla because the two L's turns into a J.
Yeah.
And she said Valhalla. Who? He was like a 14-year-old girl who didn't get what she wanted for her birthday. It was amazing. He cried for 2 weeks till he got his wrench.
Did she give it to him? She broke in. She broke down, gave it to him.
Yeah.
And,
Well, she wanted
like-
to do it, but she couldn't figure it out. And he was like, "Yeah, sure. You could just go into your chat and do it right there." I'm just saying.
He's like, "I'd do it for you if I could." Like, just say less. Yeah. I love.
Oh,
that.
she got under his skin. Oh, he's the nicest guy in the world. He picks me up and plays Taylor Swift for me when I go to Tennessee.
I love that. You were actually didn't you come to the States recently and you went to
I go to Tennessee.
To Tennessee. How did you like it? Did you have a good time?
I went last year as well. We do a meetup and a trip to Dollywood.
Okay. Very cool.
And it's absolutely. Zach, you have feedback.
I'm trying to hook up to my Bluetooth and it's not correct. It's not working. So I just leave it on speaker, I guess.
But no, I like it. It's I like America. I've been there 5 times now, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're going to America. Aren't you afraid they're going to look into your social media? Because did you know Trump said? Did you know they have been able to do that every time I've been to America
Forever. What? Yeah. They can find out anything.
I went to America in '95. They still checked if your parents were communist back then.
Wait, you said you're like 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh.
Is the mathing?
I wasn't 27 in '95.
Okay.
So that's the thing. But you have a message from Kelly. Oh. But no, I always enjoyed being in America. I don't like New York. I think that's a smelly cesspool. But other than that, I love it, especially the South, because I'm an old Army guy, and they really like freedom down there in the Second Amendment. So
they love, the red states. Absolutely. The higher you go, the bluer it gets, and the crazier it gets.
I tried to get. I took my kids to Delaware one year, and we have a friend out there, and I wanted to do at least let them try and get to just plink some 22s or something, just to see that, because in Denmark you think a pew will jump up and just attack people randomly,
right?
Because that's what we can't own them. We can't own them. We can't have them.
You can't have them at all?
Well, if I'm a member of a gun club, I can have them, or if I go hunting, but I'll have to have a license, and I can't defend myself with any weapon. That would automatically make me an aggressor.
Like, okay, so say if like I came flying into your house in the middle of the night and tried to get at you, and I spooked you, you couldn't grab your pew pew and hurt me for standing your ground in your own home. You would go to jail for that.
I would go to prison for if you survived aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I can restrain you and use necessary force to restrain you. My buddy was, who is a prison warden, who owned a bakery. He got robbed, and he ran after him, got him, and he might have, because he was trying to get away on a bike, and he grabbed him by the collar and just swung him off and hit a big, a flower arrangement on the side of the road. Slammed him into that, and he was just like, I'm gonna beat the ever. And he was like, no, just put him in a leg lock and then wait till police arrives. And he said, what the hell would have happened? He said, what you did there was actually on the limit, because you are trained in self-defense and techniques as a prison warden.
Sure.
I got punched in the face, broke my nose all the way across, and he was found not guilty because I was a trained soldier, so I should have known how to defend myself.
What? See, like law, like this is why I love the law, because that's so different, right? I guess here, if you're an army ranger, you're considered, or like any specialized type of military, you are considered like a dangerous weapon yourself. Like you're a boxer.
Every hand is a dangerous weapon if you use them wrong. It just takes one punch. It all depends on, is it okay or is it not? Because if I go up to you and I club you in the face, that's assault. If you club me in the face and I punch you back, that's self-defense. Doesn't matter if you're a trained army ranger or a boxer. But the big problem is just that we have no right. We can't, as a woman, you can't get a pepper spray in Denmark.
Really? And what's the reason behind that?
Because it's a weapon.
But I mean, if you want to carry a pepper spray, wouldn't that be a lesser offense than if you're carrying like a switchblade and some dude wants to come like
is highly illegal.
Well, here too. Here too. But I'm just saying, what's the lesser evil?
I have my knife, my letter opener right here.
Yeah.
This has a knife on it. I could potentially carry a knife this length as a pocket knife.
Mm-hmm.
If I go over 3 inches, and 3 inches isn't a lot. If I go over 3 inches,
for you it is, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't. It depends on if it's
Baker
long.
says his is 9, but that's centimeters, so who can even figure that out?
That's 3 inches.
It's 3 inches.
But
4.5 actually.
If I had a knife on me, back in the day when they just made the law, just having a knife and you didn't have a reason to carry it or have it in your car and you're stopped, that was an automatic 7 days in prison.
Really?
Yeah, we had so many. That's why the law got changed, because there's so many electricians or carpenters. They were like, yeah, let's grab a beer on the way home, and they forgot that they had a knife to isolate the wires. Just took it in their pants and went in, had a beer. Someone saw it, called the popo, got 7 days in prison. You couldn't argue your way out of it, because you can't bring a knife if you don't have a reason. So yeah, if you're going fishing, you can bring a fishing knife. But if you bring your fishing knife and you forget it in your car and you go shopping, you have broken the knife law.
Wow.
This is how bad it is. This is how bad it is in Daneland where he lives. Apparently, you can't even give a woman a black eye if she cooks your breakfast wrong. It's horrible.
You fucking Texans. I told you, the more south you get the sacks of the world.
It's even worse. You can't discipline your kids. Grabbing their arm.
To a whole thug. I gave birth to a whole thug, and if there was no discipline, not that I hit him or anything, but like if there was no discipline, like how does that even work for you? That's how you get psychopaths.
Yelling at them has been discussed if that is qualified as a illegal treatment, because grabbing the arm and said, don't do that, that is actually assault on your kids. And anyone who had a kid who might be a little nosy, we used to go to Copenhagen a lot when my kids were small. And in Copenhagen, they had a lot of the needle dispenser thingies. So if they needed to shoot up, they could get away with it. And my
we
kid
have that here
was, and my kid was like 2 years old, and she wanted to, and I said, don't touch it. And I had to help her sister on the toilet, and she kept going over there. So stop doing it. You're not technically allowed to do that, but what should I have let her poke around in the needle dispensary? It's
right.
But that's the law.
Right.
You can't do anything. And it's
Calypso just said back in the day we got our asses like back in my day there was never like I don't know what I just did here. I back in the day like my parents disciplined us, and it's become a lot more strict. Like my son is just, he tests my nerves, you know, say I'm joking. I'm like, I gave birth to a whole thug. And there are limitations of like what parents should be able to do, because there's a lot of parents out there that don't deserve children. Right. And
it's funny. The ones who shouldn't have them, they breed like rabbits, and the one who could be the best parents can't get them. Yeah.
And that's really sad. That's really fucking sad.
Yeah,
the GCF system will show you that.
but that's the thing. I don't condone that you slap your kids around and stuff like that. But I had a buddy of mine. He this is how old I am when I'm not 27. He went to a communistic private school, and in that school they were all for the kids' power. So the kids were the ones who made their schedule. What do you want to do? What do you want to? So he always had either break or preparing a demonstration. So when he was in 6th grade, he couldn't read. He never learned to read, and everyone was like, he must have a disability. Then he went into a school in the rural part of my island. And he was sat next to another guy who was also a little loud. They had a special teacher, and they were starting to act up. So this guy, let's just go outside and calm you down. They went outside, and he whacked them across the face, which is highly illegal.
Yeah,
that guy
and don't touch my fucking kid.
That guy learned to read and write within a year. And he said, if that guy hadn't slapped my face, I would have been in prison. Now he runs a pretty decent sized factory. He's a trained baker like me, but now he's been in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. Right now he's in Africa running food factories, because this guy slapped him across the face, and that was what he needed to snap out of it, because no one had ever disciplined him.
Well, that's just it. And I think a lot of these kids running around these days that are a disrespectful piece of shit is because they didn't get like pinched as a kid, right? Or they never had someone put them in their place. Like I'll even say when I was younger, I'm in my 40s now, but I was like a rebellious girl. Shocker, right? And I ended up in like what we considered like a school jail. I was like, it was school within a school, and it was extra structured, and they were so hard on us. And they were hard on us, and it was like having it was kind of like there's like a school jail, right? Like they had people following us. We had different lunches. We had all this stuff. And if I didn't go into that program, that I wouldn't have turned into what I had become my 20s and graduated college and all these things. I needed someone to put me in my place. Yeah. And everyone's too scared to do it. Someone just said it in the Calypso said it, that everyone gets participation trophies now. How are kids supposed to ever learn to do your best if you're chronically given?
Yeah, it's okay. You don't need to, because you're just as good as the other kids. And no, you're not. And no. I have 2 daughters, and one of them is very, very book-minded, always straight A student, did amazing in school. The other one was more like her dad, a little lazy, but has a good brain, but just doesn't care and doesn't I did the same when I was in school. I had like 50% that I skipped classes in some of the classes in my 10th grade, which is our last elementary year. So I didn't show up, and yeah, you can tell. But when they came at me, and my oldest daughter was getting her apprenticeship, and I said, always be the girl that's there 5 minutes before. Never be the one that's there 5 minutes late. They will always remember the one who's there 5 minutes late. They might not remember the one 5 minutes before, but you will always be remembered. They headhunted her straight out when she was done with it. They offered her a contract instantly and said, hey, we can build on you. Her friend, who was the one who was, well, I can't work Fridays because I have to go out drinking Thursdays. And she didn't get one. She got, why can't I get a job? Well, because you're not worth it. And
they can mold someone willing, right?
It's and it's just, is that a cow?
I think Zach has us in the pastures with cows and goats and raccoons with rabies. I don't know, but he has his Texan hat on, and I'd like to see it again.
I found my cows. I had to put my cowboy hat on. Tell him, Snort. Yeah, see, he's a cow dog.
So funny.
We are making sure they're in the right pasture.
Baker,
There's
where
Biggie.
you are, is it city-ish or are you in like a country-ish place?
I live in I live in a city with 48,000 people.
Oh wow! So you're like in a city.
I'm in the seventh largest city in Denmark.
Oh wow! Okay, so yeah, I'm.
We are
not
only
used to the cows and shit
6
either.
million people, so there's not a lot to go around. But no, I'm on my island. I'm on the second biggest city in my island. So
okay,
we have all the stuff. We have schools and education and stuff in my school. So it's not that rural. But if I go 5 minutes from here, it'll be rural.
Oh well, okay.
They still don't have the best Mexican food available yet.
No, we have no Taco Bell. There's no Taco Bell in Denmark.
But like no Mexican at all. Like I'd rather the authentic shit. To be honest with you, there's like a Taco Bell.
I have a good friend who is Mexican, and she said you can't get more authentic than Taco Bell.
Stop it.
Ask Zach. Is it true? Iris says that every time we talk about. She lives down by Zach, and she says you can't get more authentic than Taco Bell.
That's good old Iris.
We went and had tacos when I was in Tennessee, and it wasn't Taco Bell. I was a little bit disappointed.
Was it Chipotle?
No, it was. It was one of. It was a local one. It was good. It was quite good. I was told that you can't handle the hot sauce. It was good.
You know, I used to be able to handle hot sauce, and as soon as I hit my 40s, it does not do the same for me anymore.
Kelly's here. I gotta go. I have to leave. Sorry, I have to get out of here.
Zach, I will punch you right in the gut. You will.
I thought you were gonna stamp on me.
Hey, at least your dog's cute because it's something to look at. Because
That's exactly right.
That's how he tries to hook up with the ladies.
Yeah, that's his online.
That's the only
shtick.
smooching I get.
At least
Dogs and
somebody
fish.
will smooch you. No longer are we objectifying you at this channel.
I need details. What kind of fish?
Every kind of fish.
Is there every kind of fish?
I'm not very faithful when it comes to fish. I will take any fish.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You can tell by his picture when he puts it on his profile picture. I mean, he keeps changing the fish. So,
you guys are wild.
The fishes change, but the fish whore remains the same.
Yeah, I mean, I have found that. Where's the lie? I have found that to be true. Always.
Well, he's trying them out on YouTube to see, should this one go on my Tinder profile? Should it not? And it's because he heard that women can be a little fishy sometimes. So he thought maybe they like it. I've heard something about a fish taco, but I don't know. I am a virgin, so.
Wait a minute. Did I just say a fist? Fist.
Whoa, now, whoa.
What? What did I just hear?
This chat just turned very German.
We'll leave you two ladies alone.
Well, now, all right, Amy, you gotta tell our secrets, okay? Now stop. God,
I said
listen,
fish.
I'm just saying what I heard.
I said fish, but hey, I'm
I
down.
heard fist. I heard fist.
Hey, it's the Bad Kids Club.
Yeah.
What happens at the Bad Kids Club stays at the Bad Kids Club.
In Denmark, we say what you really wish is what you hear. So.
All right, I only hooked on Amy. I fixed the background. I don't know why.
Thank you, baby. I don't know what happened either.
Be fine. The only thing I took out was the accounts that we weren't using.
Yes.
Of mine. So
I like fishing too.
Bye, Zach. Be good.
Bye,
or
Kelly.
I will boot you so fast you don't know.
Yeah,
Baker,
whatever.
You're amazing, and you'll
Be
always
good or be good at it, right? That's what
Bye,
I say.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man. So this went sideways. So we're still talking about fish. All the girls, fish and tacos. Yeah. Keep them separate.
Yeah.
Keep them separate, right?
I'm just saying that's not what I said, but if that's what you heard, then
I was teasing.
Well, Baker is stupid in 3 languages, so I mean,
at least.
Oh my God! Wait,
you're intelligent. One.
You are very intelligent. I love watching you.
Well, that's probably
Hey Baker,
Hungarian.
when you were streaming earlier, I tried 3 times to put that you're fat and ugly in 3 languages, and YouTube would not accept it. That's why I had to make up those big words.
YouTube's like, that's bullying.
Yeah.
The funny thing is my block list isn't that extensive, so sometimes when people say I can't put it in chat, I'm what the where the hell are you going if it can't go in my chat?
It's gotten sensitive, and super chats are way more sensitive about what you say also.
Yeah.
But it's deleted a bunch of my comments lately, and I actually I hardly ever curse, and it's just picking up things that, like, the way you word it, it's weird what it picks up.
Yeah. I'll if I'm chatting and I'll be like in StreamYard and I'll say something because you know me. I'll say something and it tells me that I'm spamming myself. I'm like, what I'm spamming myself? What the fuck is going on? This is
that's
for this. Yeah.
But could also be a StreamYard connection problem. They have them sometimes. But it's sometimes you wish you could do that, figure out how to use OBS so you could kind of use those programs other people use to get chats in, because YouTube is a little it's a little
sensitive.
You don't have to drop the N-bombs or say fuck all the time, but you can use a little colorful language. We all use it, and if it hurts your fifis, I'm sure you can go to someone else's channel where they will make sure you will never ever hear anything bad, and you can sit in your vanilla life and think, oh, I know Clutchy my pearlies today.
I know, I'm shocked. I always say to people, I'm like, if you're sensitive, this probably is not the channel for you, because I don't censor anybody. You can be exactly who you want to be here. I don't really monetize. I don't do any of that. So like, what's YouTube gonna do? Like, shut me down? Oh, Baker. Oh,
hey, and his boobs are bigger than yours, Amy. So I've seen both, so I know.
Where's the plot?
Just hey, I gotta get
now.
I got lots of mowing to do.
What's your dog? People are asking what your dog is for. What kind of dog?
Schnork. He's Schnork the Schnorky. He's half miniature Schnauzer and half Yorkie.
He's adorable, is what he is. What's his name?
Schnork.
That's his name, Schnork. How
Schnork the mighty Schnorky. Okay, buddy. Okay, they're talking about you. Yep.
He's the star. All
right,
Zach.
See ya. Bye, Hood Booga.
Yeah. Bye, Hood Booga. See ya.
See you, Baker.
Bye.
How do I get out?
Bye. Oh man.
You hit the red button in the button. Yeah, that one.
That one. See ya. Zach's our happy troll. He gets timed out everywhere, but we don't do that to him here. We
No,
let
that,
Zach
but
be
that's
Zach.
we were talking about it in my Discord. I was sitting trying to keep awake, and because someone had gotten yelled at when they were a mod because they had talked about another channel covering something, and you're not allowed to do that. And I can see why you don't want people promoting other people in your chat and blah blah blah, all of that stuff. But you can say it in a nice way. Say, hey, please don't share links unless I tell you to, because
Sure.
it's my show, and maybe I don't watch them, or maybe I have a history with them or stuff like that. Or you can just do what I do if someone starts talking about, hey, did you see that Brother Counselor is having Yannetti on? I'll just say, oh, that sounds great. Or if someone is saying, if Baker's not covering the Adelson, you can watch it with Kelly. Sure, I'll just don't bring it up, or people can talk in the chat. But some people are so you can't say anything. You can't even at some channels you can get banned for just mentioning the name or saying hi to another streamer.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was
have been demodded because I was in chats that the person that I was modding for thought I shouldn't be in. And like, first of all, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And like, if tomorrow, right? If you were streaming and you were saying whatever, and Heather comes in and is like, oh, Baker is going over this, I would totally be like, oh, go over and watch Baker, like go do. But it's when you're covering something and people come in and they're like, oh, this person's doing this right now. You people can find that to be rude, right? But like you were saying like an hour ago, like people, if you don't want to watch it here, you are free to go watch it wherever you want. But a lot of channels have way too many rules, and I can't adapt to that. I can't get down with that. That's not
I love
we're
that
adults.
Pixie is pointing out that I demodded her. It's been only a year and a half since I did it.
Wait, do we need an explanation for that? Oh my god!
Yes. Well, the easy explanation is I trusted someone I shouldn't have trusted, and that made me demod every mod I had. Go back to have. I have very few mods. I have 2 mods on my Rumble channel. I think I have 5 or 6 on my YouTube channel. That's all I've had. I think I've given out 1 mod since I demodded all of them and brought in some people that I gave a mod because I knew, not that I don't trust Pixie because she didn't do anything wrong, but I just kicked everyone out and started.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because I woke up one morning and there was a lot of behind the scenes bullshit going on.
Isn't there
that
always?
I wasn't even a part of. I didn't know, but everyone, Camp A was talking about Camp B, and Camp B was talking about Camp C, and everyone was fighting across the aisle. And then someone started. I had one person who had access. You're sharing the back room on the YouTube, and I had one person who could do. Yeah, and I had one person who had access to that, so they could go and help me in the back room as well, which I didn't need, but they had access to that. And one morning I woke up and all my bandwidth were gone. And I was just like, oh, I'm probably gonna have
fuck out of here.
And I'm probably gonna have if I didn't catch that, I was expecting that I would have had an N-word day in chat if I hadn't catch that. So
everyone has those days, Baker. That's wild, though. But it is true that you're putting trust into people, especially if they have access to your back room, into helping you and things. But you know what? The beauty of like having your channel is it's your channel, and you get to do whatever the fuck you want with it. And like you're saying, Pixie, it's not personal. It's just it had to happen. It fucking had to happen.
And she knows the backstory to it as well. Because I sent a nice letter out to everyone and told them it's not you, it's me, as you always do. And I had to restart my Discord. I had to do a lot of things to get out of all of that bad shit. But now I have a very small but very good team, I feel, and that's really important.
Love that for you.
I have
I love that.
I have my mod team who yells at me constantly, so that's nice.
Yeah, people on this channel, we've all been together for a really long time, and we stayed that way. We just kind of like continued it. We have and other mods I've known for a very long time, and so I do trust that they're not gonna like start like I don't block anybody here. Like you can have your word, you can say whatever you want. I don't have to like it, I don't have to agree with it, but you can say what you want here. But I will also give it back. Like I don't bite my tongue for anybody, and so that can often get in trouble too. So you can say something, but
I have blocked people, but most of them is if they try to do the race baiting, call me a misogynist and shit like that. Because as a father of 2 wonderful young women, calling me a misogynist is some of the worst thing I can hear. Yeah, Pixie is an OG. She's been here since I started going English. So she's a
you
good.
speak 4 languages?
No, I'll dabble in 3, and then I can say words in a couple more.
That is impressive. I
speak Danish, English, and my German is not that well. I can say a few things in French, and I can order a beer in 2 or 3 other languages.
Wow. Good for you. See, you are smart. I've always loved watching you. I've always loved watching your channel. Always, always, always.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Well, it's because you live in a small country, so you have to look out. That's one of the things that really was so fun to see when they found out juror number 11 was a woman from Brazil. The xenophobic shit that came out of these idiots, because I don't think a lot of the we make fun of Americans. We call you a little slow and you don't know anything because your country is so big you don't have to know about the world. But you're sitting there and claim John De Petro, who habla español, señorita. No, she speaks Portuguese because it's Brazil.
She speaks Portuguese because she's Brazilian. Yeah, fucking cultured. Get cultured.
And it's like people outside of America has this. We're not idiots, all of us. Just because you're Americans, you're not all smarter than us. It's on a scale like everything else.
Yeah.
Someone told me today, get on across the pond, foreigner. I am across the pond, but I love xenophobes. It's the best people.
And that's the thing. I will always say the internet will always internet, right? And everybody has. I like John DePietro, a lot of like you had Plevin on. When I tell you, I don't get involved very fucking often, but I was so mad for you. Like the hood in me, like the Boston Amy that grew up in the fucking hood. Baker, I was so fucking mad for you. I'm typing over you like this fucking asshole. The way he spoke to you, and listen. I'll talk about anybody. You don't have to say anything about him if you don't want to. He's a fucking idiot, and he sounded like an idiot. And the only person that he made or look like a fucking idiot was himself. And I even saw trolls on X even agree that he looked like a fucking idiot on your channel, right? And they were anti-Karens. So
do you know what the worst problem is? He's not an idiot. He is playing the role of the anti because he was looking and did a business decision. He was looking at it back when he started, and he saw, I can be a big fish in a small pond of all the antis. I just have to say these stupid things, and I can get to Aiden's status because, hey, I'm the only smart guy. And then he found out, sadly, that pond is full of people with EBT cards. So they're not going to super chat you that much. Because all of these idiots who's anti-Karen Reed, one thing they have in common, no success in life.
None.
And Plevin thought, okay, I'm going to grift this shit. And hey, as a seller of grifter merch, I can only say, hey, you do the grift any way you can. Sometimes I'll take a little funny position if I can see everyone is getting too comfortable. I'll say something stupid. just to rattle the cage a bit.
Yeah.
But I think Plevin actually thought, I'm going to be the Aiden of the antis. And he couldn't. I read his shitty book. And I actually, I felt so bad 3 minutes into my stream because I didn't want it to go that way. I talked to him beforehand and said, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like your book. I think you have made a lot of mistakes, but I want to give you a fair chance to talk about it. And you can tell me why you did it. Yeah, but I want to ask you questions. Hey, fair enough. That's not what the show is about, but if that's what you want. And then he never talked about his book. But the best thing is still that I know you don't speak, you speak two languages, it's not your native language or whatever, you only speak two languages. I said, no, this is
He was
my
a fucking cunt when he said that. He was purposely being a cunt. He knew what he was doing.
But
I know that's a strong word, but I mean it.
A lot of people were like, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I've been in politics. He's not the dumbest person I've had an argument with. I have sat at a meeting and told a woman, every time you open your mouth, I get dumber. Could you please keep it shut? Apparently, you can't say that. But the funny thing is, what I didn't do, I didn't lose my shit.
Not for a second. And I admire that about you.
Because I don't need to. I don't need to bluster and be, oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a scared little man-child who lives in his mom's attic. And again, no fucking success. Funny enough, all these beta fucks, all the ones who are, oh, I'm so smart. No, you're a little cunt. Because I don't have to go around and say, I know I'm an idiot. I don't have to go around and show it. And and he has to come on my show and try to do the I'm so smart, I can beat you. Hey, this is my third language, and I took you around the block twice. And you went on and made your own show later and sat there and cried.
Yeah, it's true.
But
it's true.
Hey, it's one of
what I noticed with if we'll use him as the example, like if you don't have facts to support what the narrative that you're trying to make people believe, the one thing people default to is personal attacks.
As I said, call me fat and stupid.
Call me whatever the fuck you want. Your book sucked. And you have nothing intelligent to say ever, other than, like you said, I'm regurgitating what you just said. He has a platform for people who don't like Aiden, because call a spade a spade. The only reason that antis are antis is because they don't like Aiden, because Aiden either wrote an article about them in the past or fucking tore their nerves up somehow, that they're just like, well, I'm just going to be against him, when it had nothing to do with him. And like you said, Plevin saw the cash cow and coming on. Listen, you did him a favor by having him on your channel, because you are far more successful on YouTube than he will ever be. And so he had
twice his numbers, and he was like, yeah, well, I can come on and help your channel. Well, my channel has 16,000. You have 8,000, so I'm bigger than you. He had more live viewers. That's right. But I probably did a little bit better than him if you go on Playboard and look at the numbers. But the funny thing is, just when you see him, you see the Crossy catastrophe, you see Twisted Tragedies, all of these women, and well, I'll call him a woman too, because he's a little beta.
He's a pussy.
Yeah. He, well, at least he had some then, if he touched himself. But, but what they all have in common is, they don't produce anything. They are always reacting to something else.
Yeah.
They can't sit down and do like we have done for now. How long have we been going?
Like an hour and a half or more.
Yeah, we've been going over an hour where we just have shut the shit, because it's the gift of the gap. We can make a show.
Yeah.
They have to sit there and say, well, the text stream data, it's gonna. Karen Reed is done. She's just wait for the new text stream data. It's 100%, and then none of the text stream data was new when it came in, and Plevin just Aiden got to the jury. hadn't got to the jury. I
Right.
watched. Do you know that Twisted Tragedy? I don't know if she's local to the
I
area.
don't. She is. I don't know her personally. She's like not my type of chick where I would even associate with her. Period.
I think she
but
might
she
have
is
a
from
fit.
the area, and she was a supporter of Aiden. But supposedly, I wasn't there. This is secondhand information that I've heard, the internet has.
Objection, hearsay.
Yeah. Well, she was there when he got released from jail, from Dedham jail, and she was there as a support. But as the Food Stamp 5, he made a comment about if you're going to show up to court, at least don't come in your Walmart pajamas or something. But it's like not a lie. Like fucking put a suit on, like put some dress pants on, right? That's how I feel. That's how most people feel. But if you're on food stamps and you're that, not that there's anything wrong with food stamps, people. I'm just using this as an example. If you're going to act a part, be ready for the consequences of showing up to court in fucking Cookie Monster Walmart pajamas. Aiden's gonna say something. Like
everyone has.
And so it started from there. Yeah.
Everyone has the nice pair of jeans and or a polo shirt or shirt, dress shirt, something. You use. I make fun of people who come into court in their best church shorts because it looks weird when you go to the court in anything other than you would take to church. And
Amen.
But I was just watching one of her shows, and she's constant. She sits there with her Starbucks coffee. Thank you, Marissa, for my cup.
I love that. I love it.
I really like that one as well. But she was sitting. I think he had like 20 people watching her, and she's sitting there with her Starbucks. And yeah, I'm not a person who complains a lot, but my life is so hard, and StreamYard really doesn't. It's so expensive, and these streams are not making any money. And you know,
how
if you send it outside of YouTube on Venmo and stuff like that, I'll get more for myself, or you can go and buy stuff on my Amazon gift list. And I'm like, hey, do the grift.
How embarrassing.
But and you're sitting there shaking your I don't know what a cup of Starbucks costs. I don't drink that shit because I think the coffee tastes like it's
$10 for
Yeah.
a fucking coffee. I'm a single mother. I make my coffee in the morning here. Like, and I have a good job. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
don't tell
it's
Zach that. He'll try and get in your pants. He'll slip into your DMs now.
Oh, I'm acquainted with Zach.
Oh, you have seen I've sometimes the googly eyes makes it weird on his pictures. Other times it's strangely erotic.
He has those eyes that just like see you through.
Oh, you haven't.
He's
you haven't got
romancing.
when he puts the googly eyes and the little top hat on. Oh, Zach, you have to send him those.
Zach, did those get taken down from your channel? Because I'm not happy about that. I just saw the rabid raccoons or whatever he had on.
Oh
my god! But yeah. So,
No,
but yeah,
no, but
like even
she's-
Kate Peter, I don't think Kate Peter's a fucking idiot at all. I think she's extremely
Oh,
intelligent.
I think she's an absolute retard.
I think,
Oh my
but like
God.
but like Baker, you have to like have like the mental gymnastics that you have to go through to succeed or try to succeed with what she has done is not like that's not like a retard. I mean, she has like something going on where she's able to get away with what she's getting away with.
Americans call it street smart. We call it peasant smart. It's stupid people who will always figure out a way out of a problem. Where you're looking at them and thinking, you live on a diet of heroin and lead paint. How the fuck did you get out of that trouble? But they will still do it. I don't think this woman has any brains. I think I don't know what her drug of choice was, but it hurt her.
I think it was the heroin. I think it was the dope dealer. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm almost
she's on the
positive.
fancy stuff.
She's
But
on the fancy stuff. That's what I heard. I don't know. I wasn't there, but yeah.
yeah, that's
Allegedly.
But still, allegedly, yeah, and but I just don't see it. The shit she puts on Twitch. Well, she gets engagement on it, and that's good. She can get a little money out of Elon, but I see her as peasant smart, as we would call it in Denmark, because she knows how to wiggle her way into all the situations and maybe grift them a little bit, but she doesn't know when to get out of them. And she's sitting there. Oh, Morrissey, everyone forgets that what he did to the McAlberts. I don't give a fuck about the McAlberts. Oh, they took the victim advocate. They're not victims. They were witnesses in a case. Get over it. Yeah,
but fucking men.
These little bitches. It's sorry, Massachusetts is going to call me now. I did.
Listen, I told you can say whatever the fuck you want on here.
No, but it's just she's sitting there 3 months after the case ended, and she's still crying about the McAlberts.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I'm wondering, where are all these people who just, well, she's just going to go back and hating on Aiden, but Twisted Tragedies has nothing to offer. I have a disabled son, and I'm disabled, and I'm an advocate for disabled people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that even if I lost both of my legs and my arms, I wouldn't want you as an advocate, because you're a retarded woman who's sitting in her house complaining she can't make money. Right. Why can she stream so many hours if she takes care of her son and is getting paid for that? Wonder why. It's one of those mysteries you have in life. And
right.
Where
those are the takers of the world, though, Baker. Those are the chronic entitled takers of the world. And there are a ton of them, and you see them a lot. Like we've been talking about these people, they all seem to group up, and they are the entitled takers of the world. Like if I was in your position, I would be working my fucking ass off to make sure that I was like had a roof over my head and I had food in my kid's stomach and I had whatever, instead of coming on the internet and fucking complaining about it and giving your Venmo out. Because you can stream for 10 hours, but you can't go get a fucking job. Fuck out of my face.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
I'm so disabled. I have no other opportunities. Right. Well, you can work in a call center. You can do phone sex. You can do something.
She could work from home.
Yeah, there's a lot of work where you can just do call-ins for Amazon and stuff like that, and ask people about their purchases. And I haven't heard any of her court hearings. Oh, that must be wonderful listening to that idiot.
Right. And I don't even know if her and KP are like this, and they're like together. I mean, they have the same.
Didn't they have a fallout?
Yeah, I think all the Food Stamp 5 did. I think they all just kind of imploded, because that's what happens when the common goal is a made up fucking. When it's all just made up and everyone's in it to win it, and they're trying to get whatever they can out of the situation, whether it be hating Aiden and getting him in jail, or money because for your fucking cigarettes and booze, or your drugs, or however, right? Everybody implodes that way. That drug addicts implode that way.
And the thing is, there's not enough money to go around in the small pond. So they all have to infight. And sadly, we can see a lot of the infighting starting now on the Free Can Read side as well. And I don't do the tea and I don't do the drama. I have all the beef I need at home.
Yeah. You do. Check him out, Baker. Looking buff.
I don't know why people are yelling at each other right now. But I just love that camel toe club when they came running outside of court, and now all of them are hating each other.
Yeah,
it's so wonderful. And Krusty, she saw fake victim as someone she could use to get revenge.
Yes.
And she got her into something with Tully, and I can't wait to the emails. We have Morrissey's emails now. I have a mod working on trying to get the FOIA request for that one. That was dropped.
Mom.
But we need yell at your son.
Give me 1 second.
I'm going to talk. But I want to see Tully's emails, because Tully, we know, is the first person Lindsay calls after Aiden leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So he is in contact with KP, because she was the one who gave Lindsay his phone number. So I want to see his emails. If we could get a FOIA request granted on that one,
Right.
imagine what could be there. Because
Imagine the information. Oh my God. Give me
how
all
much
that.
has she been leaking? We know from Morris's emails that he had access to some of Aiden's stuff. Some of it, I think, was from the Turtle Club, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, that's the ones I want to see. I don't care that much with Morrissey, but I want to see Tully, because Tully is on everything.
Yes, on him. Well, you got to think too. So here, I mean, you would know this. They're not supposed to be working with people. First of all, with charges. KP has restraining orders. She has fucking felonies. She has all these people, and they are literally working with her against Aiden.
Yeah,
literally working with a felon to lock up Aiden. What's Aiden do? He's a little abrasive. He's a little intrusive because they were fucking up. Like you can say whatever you want about him, but he's not. He wasn't wrong. And you have the DA and Tully and Bukaki and Proctor. You're working with a fucking felon, and you're getting information from them like a fucking informant. And she literally makes up fucking documents. She made up those federal documents that she was suing him.
Which is a federal crime. I went in and looked it up. It's a federal crime to change a federal document. And a ruling in a case using that as a case number is a federal crime. Lying to YouTube is a crime. So if YouTube knows about this, YouTube should be destroying her channel, because she broke TOS. It's the same when I had a few strikes on my channel after my Plevin stream. People claimed that I was using their content. I wrote them and said, can't be, because it's my original content. So whoever have made these claims is breaking TOS. And because you can't just strike a channel for copyright issues. That's against YouTube's law. So
no shit.
I had to call a support desk, and that always takes it. They claim it's real people. I think it's AI, because they don't understand shit.
Probably.
But I think I spent an hour talking to someone and said, yeah, I had someone on. It was contagious. We got a little heated, and they're probably going to strike me more, because I saw I had some claims against me. They didn't take my channel down or anything, but I had some copyright strike warning, so you can go in and remove some stuff. So I don't know if they take my music or something and then hit that. Yeah. And I had to talk to them, and they said, oh, interesting. Said, so according to TOS, their channels should get banned. Yeah, well, yeah, technically. But all of these idiots, Kate P should lose her channel because she violated terms of service by faking a federal document and using it in a copyright dispute.
Yep, absolutely. And they should ban her from creating any other channels going forward. I don't know how they would do that necessarily, but like, you know, you're right. But if you're
technically, if you get a perma ban, it is illegal for you to have a channel and for anyone else to have you on a channel and make content.
Really?
So that's as bad as it can be. But
interesting.
That's the big one. That's the one where you're done on YouTube. You can't do anything. But,
I mean, all of these channels. I mean, even like Plevin's channels. I mean, it is the spewing misinformation. I mean, slander is a little weird. Where like I could say whatever, you know, I always use allegedly and things like that just because I've learned over the years to do that. But like, there's people literally just lying out there. Like, there's a creator, I'm gonna say his name, JLR. That boy is a menace to society. He is a menace to YouTube. I've never appreciated his work. He is a liar, in my opinion. This is my opinion, not Baker. And he spews misinformation, misguided information, and should have his channel taken down. But he has a ton of fucking viewers. He has a ton of followers, and they eat his information all day, every day. And all it does is misinformation. And in my opinion, if people are literally out there just making things up, especially when it has to do with like cases about kids and things like that, like I cannot get down with that. Like you either tell me facts or shut the fuck up. Don't bring kids into it to make money. And he hasn't lost his channel either. But then there's like Aiden who says that, I'm not going to repeat it, but he said something about Tully in like a joking type of manner and got like his channel taken down for like 14 days. How does that work? How does one happen and the other one doesn't? Because his shit gets taken down all the time.
I got a 70 days ban on my channel for covering a court case. So I got a warning if I did something again in the next 70 days, I would lose my channel for 2 weeks because I shared a court feed, or I covered a court feed, because there was a group called Sinclair Group that was broadcasting it on Court TV. And I was covering from Court TV, as I always do.
Okay.
That is illegal because you can't claim ownership on a court feed. That's a public feed. If you get that from the court TV, whoever gets it to transmit it, they must share it with other people. Ricada had a big fight over this back in, I think, Rittenhouse.
Yes.
They are not allowed to do it.
Did.
Yeah. And that's where the court case came in. I looked at the law in Utah. It was the Corey Richards case. Yeah, Corey Richards case. The law in Utah says it's illegal to monopolize or get payment for the court feed. You must share it. I went on. I spent 2 hours. I had my mod, who is a lawyer, find all the statutes. I sent it to YouTube. I went through 3 different providers, and they said, and I had a 70-day ban.
Really?
It was illegal that they struck my channel, and they didn't give a fuck. They did it. Recovery Addict and EDB, they are bigger than me. They got theirs taken away. So they didn't get the ban. We all got hit for exactly the same thing. I was the only one they uphold it for. It's all about who you know.
I mean, that's just it. But the way, if you look at like these little ass channels, though, like they're getting away with fucking murder, and then all you're doing is trying to like show the public what we are rightfully able to be. Like, we should be able to see in America. We should be able to see every single court case. We can't federally. Yeah. We can't see them, but me and Kelly were trying to do the fake victim. I think it was fake victim the other day.
Yeah.
And you were, and we all got kicked off. It had nothing to do with domestic violence, really. Right? It was Kate, or was it Kate Peter? I can't remember. We were trying to do it.
It was Lindsay. It was Lindsay and her restraining order.
That's right. That's right.
And I didn't cover it, and I had no stream going. And I tried to get on the Zoom call after Mike got kicked off, because I would have done not what Melody Little did, because that could potentially still be seen as streaming it. But I would wanted to listen to it and then go live and said, okay, this is what happened in court. I wasn't allowed in. And I'm thinking, I am a media company. I am registered in Denmark as a media production company.
Okay.
Because there's no YouTube creator. So, and you have to have a tax bracket code that, so I thought, hey, what is this? Media creation sounds good if I ever have to write a court and ask for a feed.
Right.
I didn't go in with anything YouTube. It just says Baker Media, and it's a logo I only use for Baker Media that I never use for anything. And I couldn't get in. So they just locked everyone out. How can you lock someone out from public hearing if they hadn't broken the law?
From a public hearing, if you haven't, and not for nothing, my channel's so small. You literally are listed as media. You know what how they get away with it though? They'll be like, you need to come to the courthouse. It's not illegal for you to come and sit in the courthouse, but we don't have to provide you the stream. I say fucking bullshit. Like, you pick a fucking lane, right?
Yeah.
You say you want to be transparent, be transparent.
You have to be accredited media.
Right.
But how is that's how is that gonna work? Because I have a media pass. Two seconds.
Take your time. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's right. We did the Rogue one. Yep, the same exact courtroom, and it was fine. But you notice though, it's always censored around the same fucking topic. It's censored around the Turtle Boy, Karen Reed, whatever they can censor the public from knowing, they will. They will do that. But then like you have Rogue up there, and they don't give a flying fuck about him. You know what I mean? Could we? I think I even said this on stream the other day. I was like, we should just like stream hearings. If there you go. See, you are official, Baker. He's official media, people.
I have and everyone can do. I got my buddy who also has a YouTube channel, and he can give me a press pass. So I am press because I'm a reporter for him. And I can make you a reporter for my network, because this in America you don't have the same rules as in Denmark. In Denmark, you have to call yourself a journalist. You have to have a journalism degree, but you can still you can still call yourself a journalist, or you can call yourself a reporter. One of them, but you don't have that in America, especially not in Massachusetts, where anyone who covers current events is to be seen as a journalist.
Right. So they say.
But they still want to gatekeep it. Yeah, they still want to gatekeep the shit out of it. And I just find it weird that some people can get away with murder and other people can't. And that's sadly how YouTube also is, because do
you feel like YouTube is being further censored as you've gone along as a creator? Like, were you able to do more, say more, get away with more than you are now, or do you feel like it's because the narrow topics that you've been covering?
I actually have a way dirtier mouth now than I began, because I'm saying cunt a lot more than I used to do, and retard, and I get yelled at. I have a disabled son. You can't say retard. Well, it's not your disabled son I'm talking about. It's Kate Peters. She is a retard.
Context matters.
Yeah, and again, I grew up in a time where we didn't cry if someone called us gay. We just said, well, okay, and we walked on. It's not that big of a problem. Sticks and stones, everyone. But yeah. People are really feel I can say more, and I go on more angry rants now than I used to do, because I just get fed up with things, and I don't. I feel maybe the thing that's hard for me is that the audience is so specific. Post Karen Reed, you really have to struggle to try and get some people in watching the stuff. They'll come for your Karen Reed stuff, but will they come for the rest of it? And that's I'm lucky that I had a good base audience, and I've added 10, 20 people for every. So where I was at 170 before Karen Reed, I'm at 230 now on the good days. So I've been lucky that I convinced people to come back and watch my live streams, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do even like here, we started like this channel for like the second Karen Reed trial. And a lot of the people that come over and chat with us are just know about Karen Reed. And Kelly and I are into different cases and trials and stuff that we do. And we get very few people, but our numbers keep growing, right? And so it's about the creator. And you did have an established channel way before.
Yeah, I'm coming up on my 3rd year now, so
it's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome.
But it's also, as a creator, it's really hard not to fall into that. I can just make videos about Karen Reed every single day, and I will get the numbers. And I can write this for, there's probably 2 months left in it, depending on how Aiden's case goes. The civil case, we won't be able to see that, so that'll be So I think we'll see a big shift for creators the next, before maybe latest around Christmas, where there's a lot of people who will be scrambling because am I going to close my channel or am I going to move on?
Right. Because, I mean, at some point you're going to have to. and people will milk it as long as they can. But eventually you're gonna have to like pick a lane. Like, are you gonna continue to do what you're doing with cases and your first, like your knack is like First Amendment and all of that kind of thing, and find other cases in other places to cover, or is it just gonna get shut down because that was your audience? And so it's smart to kind of
and that's why I said it when because I hit some big numbers in the beginning, and everyone was like, "Hey, man, jump on it!" And I said, "I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
Because you get pigeonholed, and then I can ride that train for 2 years, and I could potentially have had way more subscribers if I was everyday Karen Reed.
Right.
But they would go away when Karen Reed went away, and then you don't have a channel. And I've seen it with a few other. You saw it with the AHJD case as well. Some people grew to 250,000 subscribers, and they are streaming for less people than I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And
they still have their numbers because people don't unsubscribe, but the viewership isn't there, right?
And that's the thing, and that's why people say, "Why are you staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning and jumping on?" Don't take it a bad way. A shitty little channel with 15 people watching. Well, because hopefully I have taken one of my viewers over here who think, "Oh, this is funny. These are fun people.
Yeah.
Baker's not streaming at this hour. I can go watch them." And I maybe steal one of yours when you're not streaming. And that's why you paid for it. And you come on and you say, "Hey, what's your mic doing?" And try and help you out and help you build kind of a community where you can reach out to me and say, I know you know that guy Valhalla. Can you maybe talk to him? And I can say, well, I know Amy. She's not that smart and she's a little wrong in the head, but
I'm a little ditzy. It's fine. It's part of my charm.
She's a woman. Come on. And that's the one where that's the one I like to do. But I've also just seen a bad side of a lot of people.
Yeah. Yes. There is dark sides. And that's another thing I realized about YouTube, that there's a lot of like front facing stuff that like you tell people what you want them to know, right? In all areas of your life. And then there's all like in the back that is fucking torturous. And it can really it eventually starts to ooze, right? And then you have to
I had it a lot with Sean of the Golf. I hated that fat fuck when he came on because he blew up. He blew up and became crazy big.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did was sell people lies. And everyone would come into my chat and say, "Oh, did you watch Sean? Sean says the feds are gonna come Monday. Oh, did you watch Sean? Sean is saying that." And I was like, yeah, okay, because I'd be nice. I'll go on with everyone. Blah blah blah. I'll do my little spiel, and then I'll be nice, and I'll never talk to you again if I don't like you. Right. That's how I treat problems in my life. Just don't talk to them again. So I really want to tell people that this idiot is just selling them hot air.
Right.
I had one.
But how do you do that? You know.
Well, you can't because you're just jealous because he got all the views.
There it is.
Yeah, well, he's selling you bullshit. And I had people who I've been regularly talking to on Twitter and stuff like that, and you just want to tell the feds are not going to come Monday. It's not going to happen. He's full of bullshit. He's an old drunkard in Florida. He has no special access to anything. And then when he blew his shit up and, I'm going to tell on everyone, and he didn't because he had nothing to tell because no one trusted him and didn't give him anything. And I had one person today because I might have yelled about content creators who want to be first instead of being right, because hey, we live by clicks.
Yes, they live by clicks and views, right?
Yeah.
Like one time someone comes in there and they were like, "Oh, good luck with your 9 viewers," and I was like, "I'd rather have my 9 viewers than back bullshit." So you know what I'm saying? It's like you can feed off of that because that's the information that you want. They're taking it because they want to believe it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and But I was shit talking him when I started today, and someone said, "I like Sean." I said, "Well, I'm sorry, but this man is just talking bullshit. He's saying what you want to hear, so he gets his views and he gets his clicks. And hey, that's what a good grifter does." You talked about it earlier with JLR, whatever his name was,
Yeah.
who talked about kids. I was covering a case, and another one was doing it, and they started going down the, well, there must have been some diddling going on, and I was just,
And blaming people
why
that were cleared. And
why do you try and claim someone diddled?
right.
Do you know how
So
bad?
violating.
Do you know how bad it is for a man to have that scarlet letter on him that he diddled someone? Well, I'm just on YouTube. I can say what I want. Yeah, you can do it. But if you live in a city of, let's say, 15,000 people, and someone heard some big channel on YouTube say, "Well, I think he diddled,"
That's on
that
forever.
man's life. I would say that's probably one of those liable suits that can go home, because you hurt and destroyed a man if people started believing you.
Right.
And then I might have yelled a lot about that, because it's one of the worst thing you can talk. Again, I see this in court. Grape and diddling is some of the worst cases we can have, because first of all, if it's true,
it's horrible.
I had a case with a guy who raped 8 women. Trust me,
They're
I
out
will
there.
remember these women till I die.
Yeah.
Because you can tell when it's real.
You can
I've
tell,
also
baby.
I had a case with a guy who was in prison for a year that we let go from the courtroom. He had been incarcerated on. We don't have bonds, but you can either be in prison or you'll be released, and then you have to show up in court. But because someone had claimed that he had made death threats against the woman who had accused him of rape, he had to be incarcerated for a year, and we released him instantly. She admitted that, I told him he could come back the next day, and he said, "Well, I don't. Can we do it tonight?" And she had taken her pants off herself. She had put her legs around him. So even though she didn't say consent, she implied consent with
She
her
implied
actions.
it. Yep.
And all of it came because the next morning she was talking to her former boyfriend she wanted to get back with. I was raped last night. That guy spent a year in prison because one skanky hoe fucked him and wanted to go back and fuck her ex-husband.
Yeah. She had regret the next day because she wanted somebody else. But you're literally ruining people's lives, especially those claims. And it makes it harder for women who are actually raped, who are actually diddled when they're younger, to come forward, because the real chances of people coming forward are fucking very, 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 very little. Very few people come forward with any of this stuff. And so when you have someone so willing with details and information and willing to put somebody in, that's why I have a son. Like, I don't, but watch the women that you date, because trying to hem them up, right? It happens every day. Look at Fake Victim. Look what she did to Aiden.
Yeah.
Out of
and
just
all you need
fucking
when you're a
bitterness.
woman is just the accusation. And the guy on the other side is instantly either a PDF file or a rapist.
Yep.
It's
and it will never leave them. It'll never leave their reputation.
We have seen it in Canton, where someone started making rumors about people, and people instantly flipped and said, "Yeah, that's the person. They did this," and I'm like, that's why there was a free can read person who was releasing a story that seemed way, way, way out there.
Okay.
And I thought, no, I'm going to sit on this and going to see what happens tomorrow. And it was total bullshit. And I got kickback because I said, I really wish that we, even though we're not media, even though we're not journalists, that we just took that little bit of time to try and confirm a story.
Yeah.
It was about, I think it was something about Kohberger. And I looked it up. I looked at the sources. All of it looked really bad. It wasn't a trustworthy. It was some blog site, and I really wish that more people, instead of just selling the bullshit for the clicks, but again, it's money, and some people don't care as long as they can make money.
Right.
So.
But that's just it. It's like they know that they'll get the views and they'll get the super chats and they'll get the memberships and like, oh, this person always has an exclusive. Listen, if a creator, I'm a baby channel, I got like 2,000 people, right? But like if there is a creator out there that chronically always has exclusive information or breaking news or gives you like the fucking riddles of, oh, I know something and in time it'll come out. It keeps people coming back because they're waiting for that time of the bullshit that you're feeding them, right? And I don't respect it. I just don't. I don't respect it at all.
And again, when they get found out, they'll attack you and say, "Well, that's clear. You don't want to share it because." But it was true when I said it. But it's always some reason why it didn't come true. I think you're about to end. If you want to send people to Aiden. We're almost at the.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. Baker, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I loved your conversation. Hope you'll come back again. Yes.
Well, you had Zach on, so probably not.
I hope you come back. I love. Oh yeah,
Ginger with a soul is correct. There was someone interviewing Kohberger where I said,
"Yeah, it's
that
bullshit.
Just doesn't make sense because it's against all the laws in Idaho, and he hasn't even been incarcerated yet. There's no way they could have that interview up and running." And it took 2 seconds to debunk it. People could have debunked it. So, yeah.
But they believe what they want to. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with the bad kids. Baker, thank you.
Turtle Boy isn't for one more hour. Isn't it? It's
9 o'clock. He's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay and Hull. Baby, you've been here. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock here. So he should be on. And we've been talking for over 3 hours. And it's been a
only 2. I came on at 1 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock now.
Oh. I know you stayed up for us. I love that.
Yeah, well, I stayed up for Kelly. She was the one who asked me, but I'm not good enough for her.
She did. You got stuck with me.
Yeah, and Zach.
And Zach. And he's a staple here. He's our happy troll. He's always over
he's a troll.
He's true.
He pushed it out 1 hour, it says.
Oh, he did. Okay. Yeah, we can still go. My mother. Oh, wait. Kelly's here. She came in. You summoned her.
Never say that, Baker. I'm in the background watching.
Like, fuck you, Kelly. Oh my God. I love that. Baker spent so much time with us, and you are such a love, Baker. And I love you're such a conversationalist, and I could talk the fucking pants off and on. Like I love. All
right, I'm gonna take his link. I'm taking your link out of the channel chat.
Yeah. If you guys are not subscribed to Baker, please go over to the Broken Baker and subscribe. If you not, please. He has wonderful content.
His link in the subscription or in the. There you go. There's his link.
There it is.
Chat.
And I am still the only one who has ever interviewed Plevin about his book. A masterpiece, #1 in a subcategory of a subcategory of a subcategory on Amazon, but it's still a top.
It's there.
And do you all know?
You can just go watch.
But did you know the
subscribe to you?
Thank you so much. But did you know how he made out that he was a bestseller or top seller or something? He claimed that when these publishing houses, they make a deal with you. I'm just going to turn my light on again so it doesn't look as I'm about to rob a bank. But they will make a package for you where you say, okay, I want to publish my book, and they they will then go and say, okay, we can make the algorithm so you get a bestseller, because they will go and say, okay, this is about crime, and then they'll find a subcategory that has nothing in it. The other thing in that subcategory was a 6-year-old book that some law school students need for something, and they'll just slot it. Yeah, something like that. But they will slot it in that category because it'll still be true crime.
Or something like that. Crime evidence.
yeah, crime evidence or something where there was one other book in that category. It's really easy to break into top 10 if there's only one other book.
And then
this is
I got it off Kindle for free. I downloaded it to my Kindle for free.
Listen, as someone even with dyslexia, that man needed an editor, is what he needed. Like the trash of a book. He didn't even edit it. What the fuck? It didn't even have correct grammar. Like,
Irish poor face is
Irish poor face.
Can we talk about how he describes men in the book?
Yeah.
I'm from the 90s. If you want to bang a dude, you bang a dude. I don't care. It's not my problem. I only do it if I'm cold enough. I mean, I would never.
No, it's not self-published. He has an actual publisher.
Well,
it's not a good publisher. It's a very crappy, like, who will take anybody publisher, but he has a publisher.
They have specialized in publishing true crime novels. And again, I looked at the setup. It's something like, even if it makes money, he won't see any money till 6 months later and stuff like that. It's a scam. He probably paid money to have it published.
Yeah.
100%. And not for nothing, he put the book out before the second fucking trial.
Yeah.
With
name it
bogus information.
The trials of the decade, and then the only one has happened. You don't even have the second one finished.
And like for him, the whole Irish poor face thing, like it is funny, but at the same time, like Boston is a large population of Irish immigrants. I am Irish. I might look like Spanish or Italian, but I'm Irish. And my father was never an American citizen. He came here and he made a life. My mom, blah, 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 right? And to sit there and like even calling like a paddy wagon, you call a paddy wagon, but do people really know what a paddy wagon means? And for him to the things that he was saying and the verbiage that he used.
Here, my kids are screaming. I'll find it. I'll read it to you. It wasn't actually Irish poor face, but it was funny. Hold on.
She was the face of the Irish famine.
Poverty. That's right. Irish poor. People call it that in the chat, but that's what he meant, right? And it's like, yo, like, come on, Flavin, you got nothing else. But we were saying people default to these type of antics when they have nothing intelligent to say.
Can I just read a piece?
Please
and
do, yes.
Tell me if this really feels Irish to you, because the transition. John spent every day in the hospital at her bedside as brain cancer ate away his beautiful outgoing sister. The Irish has a unique sense of tragedy, born from centuries of oppression and misery that seemingly ever lurked in the shadows. For some, the so-called Black Irish, this gloom creates a defense mechanism, expecting disasters lessen its sting when it arrives. But this isn't the O'Keeffes. Kristen maintained her sunny optimism even though the long ordeal of her dying. John's mother, Peg, always arrived in court infused with energy and ready for battle. She looked like a slapped ass. Paul generously... She looked like a slapped ass. Paul generously offers emotional support to the very people the defense accused of killing his brother. Yeah, when he doesn't ram his car into old men. But can we just go back to the sentence, the Black Irish?
Yeah,
if you don't know what that sentence is,
if you don't know what that means,
highly racist.
Very.
This is people who were called the Black Irish because they were treated worse than black slaves.
Right.
That's if you don't know, most people would never use Black Irish.
Right.
Especially if you have an Irish heritage.
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm dark with dark eyes, dark curly hair, dark skin. People call me Black Irish.
That's not a good word.
But because I don't fit a mold, and that's what we get called. Yeah. Right. And it's a high, it's a high, like, and it's not wrong that the Irish did get treated very poorly.
They were treated worse than slaves.
Horrible. It was horrible. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that, and that's where it's a very derogatory term. And when I read this book, I was like, your name is something that sounds Irish, and I think I know more about Ireland than you do.
Yeah,
100%.
I think I know more about the American history about Ireland than
I
he
think
does.
you know more about American government than I do, and I live here
Well, that's because I'm a weirdo.
and went through the school system.
Well, I'm a weirdo, so that doesn't count.
But yeah, when he said Nicole, tall and strong, also conveys quiet strength, whereas her sister Jen is tiny and petite, but assertive, reserved and quiet. Nicole is described as sweet, and her face suggests the deep depths of motherly fortitude common in the survivors of the generations of Irish poverty. These women know how to bear suffering. I was like,
hey, you guys, I hate to have to do this, but my son really needs me, and he just came in and he's looking for his mama. So
I just came in because Baker told me I wasn't going to be here. And
you guys can finish out again. Baker, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I'll let you guys finish up, but we will do this again. All right, thank you.
Okay, I have one last part. Hey, Betty, babe, not baby. Hey, buddy. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Are you? It can't be naked on YouTube.
I know. I was like, I'm going to turn on. He's like his mother.
Yeah. Well, have you been naked on YouTube?
I have to make her get dressed a lot. Okay.
I really do have to go because he's having like a tantrum. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to bring another thing up because I know a little thing about American history as well.
I know a lot more than I.
But he's talking about the free can read movement. And talks about how he knows police officers. Yet I've also known a lot of the free can readers who had family in law enforcement. So there really is something more than just a general mistrust of cops that feeds this. Interestingly, there are almost no people of color within the free can read movement. The blacks and Hispanics we've talked to tend to be baffled by the obsession with this case. I bet you he has never talked to a Hispanic or black person about the Can Read case.
There are quite a few black and Hispanic people in there in our free Can Read. Big creators off TikTok and stuff.
And that's why I'm saying he never talked to anyone. He's just making this shit up. But we go. So why exactly does it resonate? The best answer is that it's just the right combination of ingredients. Underdog character, a person with whom older white people can identify, someone up against supposedly powerful forces, mistrust of police. I will agree. My core audience is 35 plus. And I think Zach is 95, 96 years old.
Yeah, he's pushing up 100 soon.
Yeah, and he looks older. That's the worst part about it.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
I tried to get him to get Botox, but he isn't listening.
He sent me pictures. He has gotten Botox on one specific area.
I probably don't want to see those pictures, though.
No, don't Botox your ball sack. That's really weird. But but when I see the movement, I have seen kids, I've seen young people, I've seen middle-aged people, I've seen old people. I haven't seen this old white people. Again, he tries to do it like a racial thing.
Yeah.
That, hey, it's only racists who like Karen Reed. But and of course, plenty of things that seem odd. All of the conditions to create the perfect storm. There could be one more aspect too. The moment was right. The public was vulnerable to this narrative at this time in history. Witch hunts and similar hysterias, such as prognoms, which is when you unalive the Jews, and Red Scares, that's when you don't like the commies, which all of this is the same as, always come at a time of anxiety and during transitional periods where authority is being challenged. I don't know what this has to do with Karen Reed. The Salem witch trials came in 1692. 15 years before that, a quarter of the population had been wiped out by the Native Americans in King Philip's War. During that war, Indians sprang from the woods, abducting men and women working in the fields and burned down their homes. After that, The colonists lived in terror about what lurked in the woods, but it was also a time where the grandchildren of the original settlers was questioning the strict values of the Puritans. Therefore, there was an underlying anxiety about their future and about authority. And right in the middle, between the elderly original settlers and the more rebellious grandchildren, was the second generation, the middle-aged children of the settlers, and they were the ones who fueled the witch hysteria, hurling accusation against neighbors and settling pretty petty grudges. Do you know anything about the Salem witch trials?
Yeah, we learned it we went over it in our English class in school, but like I don't know what the English witch or what the Salem witch trials have to do with Karen Reed, just like when he goes over Lizzie Borden.
Well, if you go into what he claims, who was the ones who accused people of witchcraft in the Salem witch trials? It wasn't the middle-aged women. It was teenagers. The one who started them were a 14 or 13-year-old girl. So even when he tries to put in a historic narrative to prove his points, he doesn't know shit about anything. And he's so full of shit. And it's amazing that people still watch his show and believes anything he says, because reading that book will make you dumber.
I can't even, Liam, turn it down, please. Sorry, my son plays it really loud. I think the neighborhood has to hear it. I feel like he feels like he has to make himself smarter than everybody else. So like my husband and I were talking about it. He was talking about the Holocaust today with Kate Peters' ex, and it was because she had brought up something about it always leads back to Aiden, pretty much. She starts a conversation off, and then she goes off about the Holocaust out of nowhere again.
Oh yeah, I saw she had some really hot take about how it's sympathy for the McAlberts because this is how Holocaust starts. It was something like that.
Yeah, and then he came in and tried to like boom and talk about how smart he was about the Holocaust, and I was like, why this? It was because Aiden had mentioned something about Joel from STS, which is Surviving the Survivor podcast, and his mom was in the Holocaust. So Aiden had mentioned it on his show about something, and of course they have to, because they wake up and think about Aiden 24/7. That is what she had to post, and I was like, why? How did this turn into a whole Holocaust lesson from Plebin? And then I realized, you know what? But it actually wasn't Plebin giving the Holocaust lesson. It was actually he was complaining that Joel was going to have him on the show, and an hour before the show, Joel called him and said, "We're not doing that. We'll call you another time," and he never had him back on. And that was the whole point of it. But he was relating the Holocaust to Kate's post. It was just like a whole like, what did you read? You had to like pay attention to what they were saying. It was the dumbest. I looked at my husband. I said, "Why do I get dumber when I read their posts?"
Yeah, and all the things where he, again, it's really, really easy to be the smartest guy in a room full of idiots.
Yeah.
But he makes these 5,000 word long posts, and it's just regurgitating some stupid shit. And he can't. The funny thing is, he's sitting in ChatGPT and writing all of this. You can tell the formatting of the book. It's 4 different books or 4 different stories he's been writing and then putting it together. And he needed an editor to try and mix it. And the book is just crap. And it's the same when you read his chats, because he just want to be smart. And the problem is he has no skill. He has no knowledge. He hasn't got anything that he can talk about. And he's a petty little fuck.
Oh, yeah, he is petty.
Because I want to turn this. I want to shit on Aiden for saying something about someone who has a mother who's a Holocaust survivor. But I also really want to get in there that I wasn't invited back on the show.
Yeah, like that's what it turned into. Like Joel he's just a pussy. He didn't want to invite me back on because he doesn't want to be attacked by, or it went to contradict the FKR Turtle Writers mob. And I'm like, that had nothing to do with what you started your conversation about.
But the problem is, Plevin is never going to go on a show and win a debate because Plevin is an idiot. And Plevin is not a good debater. I'm a masturbator. And I had I don't know if you have ever seen that Let Me Be Frank or whatever his name is. A weird Dutch guy who sits and smokes weeds and loses debates. He came into my chat. I demand you have me on so I can tell you about how the Karen movement is wrong. And he got involved in the Delphi case as well. And he sits on his own channel and is just a Dutch version of Plevin.
Yeah.
Where he's sitting. I didn't know him, so I was like, okay, let's see what this weirdo is about. He had 22 people watching. And then he had, I'm going to do an urban mic and you can come on and try and see if you can win a debate with me. And someone came on and he just trounced him with, well, you're trying to self-insert yourself into every trial. You don't know shit about this and stop always trying to make it about you. Or you can't fight me. I'm so, I don't know why he's French. That's not a Dutch accent. I can't do a Dutch accent. But then he got mad and kicked that person. And then people were like, oh, you lost, bro. And his mods kicked everyone who disagreed with him in chat. We were 11 people, because I didn't say anything. I wanted to see what he was. There was 11 people back. And then he just sat there and said, well, he couldn't handle me. I am so smart. And then like Grant started smoking weed and I know everything. Everyone is afraid of me, and no one wants to debate me. And I had a massive channel, and he used to have a big channel that got ripped down because he was contacting the judge in the Delphi case, and I think the lawyers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
Twisted Tragedy does that too. She did it with the Kohberger case.
Yeah, did you see that one where she was watching the judge saying and messages, and she was like, oh
yeah, it was mine. I did it.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh yeah, that judge doesn't know anything. It's a public trial. The public should have a word.
The public doesn't have to say. You just get to watch it, dude.
I can't. Why are these people so stupid? Imagine even Zach would seem intelligent if he was in the same room as them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find someone as dumb as Zach, but it seems like Aunt J. Karen Reed can truly, really find like the people who are just way
He could
down.
be their messiahs. He could be the one who could lead them to the Holy Land because you can tie your shoes and you don't use Velcro.
Yay! I mean, heck, my son is autistic. He is nonverbal. He has cancer, and he has epilepsy and legally blind. And he can put his shoes on and still do Velcro better than Zach, probably. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways.
Well,
there's
it's not.
ways to work it.
I just can't. Well, it's past 3 a.m. It's actually almost 3:30 in the morning.
I didn't want you to think I wasn't. I have a headache.
I just made fun of you. It's no problem.
I was like,
So-
don't say that. I'm still here. I want you to come back.
No, next time, let's not do it when it's
Let's plan a
3:30.
day. I'm home during the day. My kids go to school, so the only time I leave, for me is I leave at 2:20, and I'm back by 3:00 to pick up my kids from school, Eastern time in the afternoon. But other than that, we can do it.
We'll figure something out where I'm a little more. I didn't get to take a nap before because I thought, oh, it's going to be an hour and I'm off. And 2.5 hours later, I'm still here because
because we love
I'm
you.
not that
and
smart.
You're fun to talk to, and
Wow.
Sarah Dawn came from. So Omar, the tilted lawyer, is a friend of mine, and I had watched him from the. I don't know if you know about the Laura Owens case.
Oh yeah, the tonsil twins.
Yeah, the tonsil twins, the blowjob twins, all that stuff. So tilted lawyer, I watched him from all of that, and he came on, and he's been on a few times, and so a lot of like Sarah Dawn and Bruce from Oregon, a bunch of those people. Liam, turn it down. Bruce from Oregon, a bunch of those people, they are all from Omar's channel, and now they're like regulars with us. So whenever we're streaming and he's not, they're on here with us to talk to us. And I tried to calm the boy down. This boy down here is off the chain, and he has been since he woke up this morning. My husband and I are like, it's Saturday, sleep in for 5 minutes. No, he won't. It's like he's awake.
Well, it's kids that don't want to. I had my daughter and my grandson staying for a week 2 weeks back, and it was hard doing the get up at 4 a.m. in the morning because I'm awake now. I'm not, and you have to do it. But kids are great.
Well, school starts Monday. So I have been counting the days, and now I'm counting the hours.
Yeah,
we did meet the teacher, so we're good.
And Monday you'll sit there and say, "Oh, I miss him. Oh, why?"
No, I'll come on and stream. That's how I was streaming the Karen Reed trial. I was rushing the kids, dropping them off at school, and coming back to stream the Karen Reed trial. So I was doing. YouTube is my Liam. He's on a sit and spin, so he's spinning around in circles. But he, this is my outlet. This is how I think about, because we go to St. Jude every 3 months. He's a St. Jude patient, and now he's got another tumor that we have to have seen, which St. Jude won't see, so we have to do it here on our Palmer in Orlando, and he's probably gonna have to start a chemo again. So, and that'll be our 4th time on chemo. He's been doing this since he was 5. So, but this is how he is all the time. Like, he just laughs all the time.
Yeah.
He's so happy.
That's a good thing that with all of that he has to go through, that he's still a happy kid.
That autism was honestly a blessing for him to have, because he doesn't think about the bad stuff. He just is like, I'm good. Like, let's go do it. We're gonna do it. But but he's strong, and he's as tall as I am at 11. So,
well, I hope all the best, and it's not gonna need any too bad treatments. But I need to get to bed, and
no, go to bed. But definitely, we want to have you back. Like Amy said, come back. I just woke up. Earlier. I was like, I'm shaky. I didn't feel good. I was trying to eat something. I thought that's what it was, and then I just crashed, and so. I woke up at 7. Right before I logged on, right after I woke up. You guys could probably hear my voice. I was still like,
Well, I got the coof when I was in Tennessee. There's a lot of that going around right now. So that wasn't fun. But now I'm gonna leave, and I'm just gonna jump off because else we're gonna talk for another half an hour, and I need some sleep because I'm getting a headache. Love you all. See you all.
Don't end up with me where I am. So we will talk to you later. All right, Baker.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Didn't intend to go that long. I wasn't even going to come up today. I was just coming up to say hi. So I'm going to, and now we'll be regulars for Baker too. You'll love Baker. Baker is so much fun. And I had asked him earlier in the week to come on, but we didn't know for sure. He said he would try if he was up. So I'm glad he got to come on and spend time with Amy, and that Amy got to enjoy herself and have an interview with someone that was a lot of fun, and it was fun watching it. So I appreciate it. But we will be back. Amy and I will be back together again. Just sometimes we have to. That's teamwork makes the dream work. She took over for me because I couldn't do it today. So, but have a good night, guys. I know Turtle Boy's on. Let's go enjoy some Turtle Boy, because I know he's going over the emails that from Morrissey's burner account that dropped. So those will be interesting. So love you guys. Have a good night.
How am I supposed to say that? Talk time with Amy in Boston and Kelly. Time with Amy, Boston and Kelly. Talk 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 time with Amy, Boston and Kelly is a member, y'all. To the Gene Deal Show. Talk time with Amy in Boston and Kelly. Talk time with Amy, Boston and Kelly. Talk time with Amy, Boston and Kelly is a member to the Gene Deal Show. Oh, thank you for your membership. Talk time with Amy and Boston and Kelly on the Gene.